Received an emergency transmission from Hadawi, a Havoc nuclear engineer. Patching through.
This is AZ-3 facility. Reactor 2 has been sabotaged. Havoc internal forces can't handle this threat anymore. You're all I've got left.
Running blind on intel for the AO. This region is at high risk of a nuclear incident. Keep the following in mind. Shoot, loot, then pack the scoop.
The signal is clear. Take action. It's okay here. Not too cold.
Experiment 66 is projected to conclude in T-minus 3 hours. All units submit safety risk assessments on schedule.
I've got a reading.
No hazmat suits? Raise him!
Let's make it quick.
Enjoy the bomb!
So eager to die. Excellent.
I don't know what's happening, but reactor output is still climbing. And security thinks I'm behind this. They're coming for me. GTI, move it, now!
Key verified. Access granted. Hostile signal detected. Lethal action authorized.
Damn it! Someone take control of this piece of junk!
Entering manual mode. Executing command.
Those bastards in fusion research won't authorize shutdown because of their experiment timeline. I know better than anyone how important this research is. Hold this position. Once I finish calibration, use that console to insert the control rods immediately. Data set. Follow me. I know somewhere the signal can get through.
Steam explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. Estimated contamination radius.
Careful! Don't fall! We're outside the signal blackout zone. Upload the data package to Skynet immediately. Encryption keys in the archive. Just send it!
Critical alert. Reactor power output has critically exceeded safety thresholds. Core meltdown imminent. All personnel evacuate immediately. Priority alert. Hydrogen explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. INTS scale 7. Major accident. All personnel evacuate beyond contamination zone immediately. Estimated spread radius 3.7 kilometers. Correction, 9.2 kilometers. Correction, 24.9 kilometers. Correction, 45.3 kilometers. Correction, 79.8 kilometers.
My hands are sweating. All right. Hi, Operator. I'm Gabriel Mercier, codename N2. Since we'll be fighting side by side, allow me to properly introduce myself. As the codename suggests, my combat style leans towards cryogenic suppression. My frost launcher paired with a cryo flask can quickly force enemies into a frost state, ensuring they pose no threat to us. If enemy positions are unknown, the homing stun grenade can precisely mark them as well. Right now, I'm in the middle of a critical operation. one where failure is not an option. I hope this mission can make up for some of my past mistakes, even if just a little. Mission target zone, AZ-3, Asara's only source of nuclear power. The plant's power output is spiking abnormally. This time, I won't let it happen again. An emergency shutdown is our only chance, but the risk is extreme. We not only have to breach Havoc's heavy defenses, we have to face lethal radiation head-on. Some containers within AZ-3 have already been contaminated by radiation. You can follow distinctive sounds to locate them, but keep a close eye on your own radiation levels. Radiation is divided into 4 levels, each causing different effects. Accumulated radiation can be cleared by leaving the contaminated zone and using decon chambers or mobile decon units. During the incident, some personnel lost their access keys. We can use these keys to infiltrate the classified zones and gather intel and supplies.
Key verified. Access granted. AZ-3 key detected.
That's not all. Severe leaks have occurred across multiple sections of the plant. You can choose to endure radiation exposure and enter these zones for high-value supplies and rare data, or stay clear. The choice is yours. Havoc has deployed a large number of purification soldiers at AZ-3. Once your position is exposed, heavy purifiers will apply debuffs like corrosion and slow movement, but attacking the weak spot on their back can neutralize them quickly. An even tougher threat comes from the relink agents. H-1000 personally leads H-47, H-800, and other agents to guard the facility. All of them connected through Skynet. They're extremely persistent. Stay on maximum alert. One final thing. If we do manage to shut down all the nuclear facilities, something unexpected might happen.
Disabling attention. All AZ-3 terminals disabled.
Of course, the nuclear plant has new collectibles too. Over in Warfare, things are heating up. The flames of war have reached the weathered stone walls of the Colosseum. This 1,000-year-old city is sliding toward ruination. We've got new weapons. The RM-277 assault rifle excels at sustained suppressive fire, most effective from medium to long range. The SVCH marksman rifle is capable of taking down enemies in one shot at long range. There are also some bonus events coming up. Play Ole 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 to earn points and exchange them for sports-themed rewards and exclusive avatars. The Meltdown Season Pass includes various tactical supplies, including a new outfit for Tempest. The new season's Mandel bricks can yield the AKM assault rifle. Astromancy skin. Not bad. Opening Turbricks gives you a chance at the Law of Time series collectible charms. Good luck. A new melee weapon, Elegy, the exclusive weapon of the Abyss Shark Reese. Pretty cool. Oh, and don't forget, the Rainbow Six Siege crossover is launching soon too. 3 new operator skins. Black Ice weapon skins and special collectibles. Now that's something. Covers the main updates for the Meltdown season. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
Hi everyone, I'm William, the art director of Delta Force. As many of you may already seen, Delta Force is launching a collaboration with Rainbow Six Siege in our next season. Since launch, we've seen a lot of passion and discussion from our community around the tactical shooter gameplay. And whenever players talk about the genre, Rainbow Six Siege is one of the names that come up most often. So, we reach out to Ubisoft.
Bonjour, je suis Émilie Besson, directrice de la réalisation sur Rainbow Six Siege. Oui, Siege a toujours été défini par son gameplay tactique. le travail en équipe et aussi la variété des opérateurs que les joueurs ont appris à connaître et reconnaître au fil des années. Ces collaborations nous donnent l'occasion en fait d'amener les éléments emblématiques de Siege dans un nouvel univers tout en restant fidèles à ce qui les rend uniques.
In this collaboration, we focus on two things: operators and Rainbow Six Siege's iconic visual legacy. We selected 3 operators pairings who share the same combat philosophy.
I'll be there you need me. 말보다는 행동이지.
Call if you need a hand.
For classic Siege elements, we choose to honor Black Ice, the Drone, and the Alpha Pack.
Ce qui était essentiel pour nous de préserver dans la collaboration, c'était l'identité, l'authenticité de nos personnages. C'est ce qui les rend uniques. On a travaillé main dans la main avec l'équipe de Delta Force pour s'assurer que l'authenticité de Siege, l'identité de Siege s'intègre naturellement dans leur jeu.
Both games share a realistic art direction, and finding distinct recognition within that shared aesthetic was actually the harder challenge. We started by preserving the core silhouette and the color framework of Siege operators. Doc and Motin's iconic deep navy uniforms, Vigil's signature custom fitted gear, these stay true. At the same time, within the finer details, we wove in Delta Force identity. They wear patches from both teams. Motin carries Cineva's badge. Doc has medical kits at his side. To faithfully recreate Black Ice, we focused our material work on internal ice fracture patterns to capture the distinctive texture and a cold, austere feel of original.
Oui, en effet, Black Ice résonne énormément avec notre communauté. C'est une cosmétique d'armes qui a énormément plu à nos joueurs. Et l'équipe de Delta Force a fait vraiment un travail incroyable pour la recréation dans leur jeu de cette cosmétique, avec un souci du détail extrêmement gratifiant.
We employed a dual-layer material system combined with subsurface scattering lighting model. Using camera vectors and a depth texture to offset UV calculations, we achieved effect of refracture patterns appearing to exist deep inside ice.
Et ce qu'on a apprécié et ce qui nous a impressionné, c'est le travail de recherche de Delta Force. À quel point ils ont été soucieux du détail pour conserver nos opérateurs dans leur jeu, qui s'intègrent vraiment comme naturellement dans leur univers.
Beyond the content itself, we want as many players as possible to access and experience this collaboration. By completing in-game missions during the season, you can unlock these rewards for free. One more thing, in the new operations map, we will prepare something special for you. You will find a surprise in the maps that are meant just for you. Once the crossover goes live, go find them. Once more, onto the bridge.
Dear friends, once more.
For some, success is measured by bodies in bags. Maybe that suits them. But to me, it's measured in hearts that keep beating. You with me?
Operations. It all comes down to 3 simple rules. Search, fight, extract. Search decides how much loot you walk away with. Fight. Not every encounter needs to end in a shootout. You just need to clear whatever's standing between you and your treasure. Extract. That's the magic moment that turns everything in your pack into yours to keep. 3 phases, all connected. Miss one and the whole run falls apart. Gear up before you head out. The better you're geared, the harder you hit and the more you can carry. But the more you lose if you go down. Go in cheap and dying won't sting as much, but you'll miss out on those juicy, high-value supply zones. Gear up and go big, or go light and gamble. Your call. Once you're in the match, forget everything else. Loot, loot, and loot some more. Documents on desks, parts and cabinets, bird nests by the roadside, trash cans tucked in corners early on. Grab everything you can get your hands on. Priority targets, safes, and air cargo containers. Snag one high-value item, and boom! You've already covered your entry cost. Now, the real question, keep pushing your luck or cash out while you're ahead. Your pack's stuffed with goodies and you're ready to extract. Then, gunfire erupts ahead. What now? Charge in, slip past unseen, or hang back and let them wear each other down before you swoop in? Just remember, die and you lose everything in your backpack except what's safely tucked away in your safe box. You choose to slip away quietly. Smart move! Your pockets are already bursting, but you can't shake that nagging sound of footsteps nearby. Even distant gunfire's enough to send your heart racing. You finally reach the extraction point. The countdown starts. Hold your nerve, don't blow it with 2 seconds left. Extracted. That weight you've been carrying the whole run finally lifts off your shoulders. Sweet relief. Then, there's the ultimate wild card. You stumble on a mandel brick. This thing's worth a small fortune, but the second you pick it up, every player on the map knows exactly where you are. Everyone's coming for you. You go from treasure hunter to hunted in the blink of an eye. Your only goal now? Stay alive long enough to decode it and cash in big. Whatever path you choose, it only counts if you make it out alive. That's operations for you. Every extraction is a story worth telling. Go make yours.
The enemy got the mandel bricks. Find and stop them. Mandel bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, I'm not gonna do very much, though. When you get barrel stuff, Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go! Much damage, and there it is.
Good evening or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome into the Delta Force Rise series. It is week 4, the last week of group stages in day 2, where groups B and C finally meet for the last time. Last chance for these two groups to put some points on the board and either make it straight to the finals, get kicked out of the season, or get into the survivor stages. I'm Ghosh, this is DK. We're back with you yet again, casting some amazing America's action. DK, how the heck you feeling?
Super stoked, super excited to be here. It's going to be a big day, as you said already, right? We are nearing the end, so 2 groups are going to be playing their final match today, and I'm super excited to see what they're going to be bringing in, because looking at the lineup, it's pretty stacked.
It's very stacked, and yesterday we had a ton of fun with some of the teams' kind of penultimate match, right? Preparing for their final match to see if they could go perfect, if they could put up some great games, or unfortunately get stuffed at the line, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. A lot of chaos, and our leaderboard certainly changed. Let's take a look back.
Full commit here. There's only 10 seconds on the clock. They do get the commit. A great play. End up not being needed. Nobody moved fast enough. Nightmare lines them all up and knocks them all down. They come in late and say, thank you very much. Let's get our hands back onto the brick. And they're actually in a position to be the team with a full player advantage. And DW's taking out Skies. Even SSG's down to a duo. It's only FX with 3. And down goes everybody from Spacestation Gaming. Nightmare is a duo, and they are obliterating this lobby. That's one way to get the brick. Just kill everybody else.
Yep, no competition, right? That is a very strong armed way to get your hands on a
nice take, but they're immediately sticking the res because nobody's close enough. But yes, Marino is. He makes a nice play. Swings around and finds Eclipse. Leviathan down to a solo. 15 seconds. He's got to stay alive. That's the only thing. No! He goes down! It's utter chaos as Nightmare just full send death ball into the engagement as FX help clean up the last remaining members of Leviathan. Patience in these engagements between Nightmare and FX, but unfortunately, maybe too much patience because MW are now in the power position. FX caught in a blender of trying to revive each other, and now they're just hiding behind rocks to get farmed. MW come in.
Either side, but MW could still maybe have this one in the back. So much riding on this for them. Beautiful jumps coming through, but are not going to be enough though.
Oh, equal plays! Unbelievable flank. Equal plays, spoiler again and again and again. This man is MVP. Woo! I told you it was a lot of fun. We were getting loud yesterday, and Nightmare put up a near historic run with what they were able to put up. 51 total squad points, 31 kill points is ridiculous. For comparison's sake, that's MW and Leviathan put together. Stupid amount of kills and a ton of supply points, and both the Bricks means Nightmare were your winners by a large margin. But FX had a great rep yesterday, and that put them well up into the leaderboard, in a safe position of the leaderboard in our group standings. And DK, as we look at our group stages and everything that's happened, it started in Americas with SSG really taking over. They were the team at the top of the leaderboard, and then the last two matches, things have not gone their way. And so with Nightmare picking up this last win, Evil Genius is still finding their way to the top. Let's talk about some of these top players, though. Loco finds his way to the top of the top Slayer category.
Yeah, I mean, Loco was working quite hard on that first day, just bringing so much pressure in as well from the previous weekend, rather. Of course, we got to be seeing him stepping onto the battlefield here today. But, I mean, Leviatan Social definitely doing a lot of work right alongside Equal from Nightmare. I mean, both these gents, they were just absolutely cooking some crazy just yesterday. And I mean, the last day we saw something as insane as yesterday was all the way back in day number 4. So that just tells you how crazy these teams are, right? They're really keeping a lot under the hood and keeping everything all the way to today. And I'm expecting to see even more of that continuation, especially now seeing that we are going to be having even more pressure being applied from Evil Geniuses, right? So Loco will have that opportunity to step out today and maybe try and increase that lead that he has when it comes to the overall amount of damage that he's been able to do, because looking at that is a 2k lead ahead of Killzone, and Killzone was trying really hard yesterday to get quite a few good hits in.
Yeah, I mean, the top players, the top asset gainers, the top damage dealers are all about the same for the most part. It's Killzone, it's Loco, and then it's a mix of someone else, Leviathan, Socio Legend, or Nightmare's Equal, especially with the last match that they played. Equal Plays had a historic run himself. The team did as well, but Equal Plays put up a ridiculous amount of kills. I believe it was 18 in total by himself, and picked up like 20 million. I mean, it was just a ridiculous amount. I can't stop saying that word because it's truly what it felt like. It felt like something from a dream for Equal Plays in Nightmare, and so they really have found their way to a final form, and because of that, they found their way to third currently on our leaderboard. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. Everybody is even right now. We have a single match left for everybody. The top 2 teams go straight to Championship Sunday next weekend. The bottom 2 teams do not make it to next week at all. So we've got a couple different bubbles we're fighting over. And at the top right now, Evil Geniuses and Spacestation Gaming are mostly safe. They're definitely going to be playing next weekend, of course. But the biggest question is, can somebody knock out Evil Geniuses or Spacestation Gaming from the top 2 and sneak in and potentially go straight to Championship Sunday? It could be Leviathan. It could be Nightmare. And technically speaking, mathematically, you could see Team Liquid jump up in there as well. So some fun conversations for the top, but DK, it's the same conversation for the bottom. It's just only between 3 teams.
Yeah, I mean, especially looking at that gap difference, there is going to be quite a bit of a back and forth opportunity coming in for either of them. But this is going to be the last day for NW to try and make a difference. Are they going to be able to get 12 points on the board to catch up with Team Nadeshot? No, right? We don't give out 12 points unless, of course, they steal the day, right? If they get the insane performance and somehow miraculously manage to make up some crazy points, that is going to help create quite a bit of a barrier between them and Liquids, as of course BTH. But both of the other two teams, they're going to be stepping up again tomorrow to try and see if they can take the throne or the slot away from MW, right? So I feel that there's kind of two teams here that will have quite a bit of pressure on their shoulders today. MW being one, and the other one being the Evil Geniuses, right? Because looking at SSG, 2 points away, that is not a very wide gap. And with Spacestation Gaming coming in tomorrow, not being here today, this is the perfect opportunity for Evil Geniuses to try and create a bit of a gap, create a bit of a buffer, because I can promise you when Nightmare, SSG, when they step into the field, I mean, they're going to be bringing some heat with them.
Yeah, I want to put it very plainly for MW. If they get a win today, if they double brick, get 10 points, we know for a fact who the two teams are that will not make it to next week and will be eliminated from this competition. If MW get anything less than that win, it still technically is up for grabs. So keep that in mind today, in particular with groups B and C. But folks, if you haven't been paying attention to the Delta Force Rise series, let's go to a quick video to explain how it all works.
Delta Force. One game, 2 regions, 1 shot at glory. This is the complete guide to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Everything you need to know, from the very first match to the last squad standing. The path is the same in both regions. It starts with the open qualifiers, open to any team that wants to compete. The best push through to the group stage, where the top 2 advance directly to the finals, bottom 2 eliminated, and the rest battle through the survivor stage to earn their spot. From the open qualifiers, 12 teams have fought their way into the season, and only 1 will lift the trophy. The group stage runs for 4 weeks, with matches every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 12 teams are split into 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. 3 teams per group. Each broadcast day, 2 groups go head-to-head in a cross-group match. Every match is a 7-round format. 6 teams competing in the same lobby simultaneously, across up to 7 rounds on maps like Zero Dam, Brakkesh, Tide Prison, and Space City. Teams earn squad points by scoring eliminations and accumulating in-game total assets. And on brick rounds, they compete to collect and decode Mandel bricks, artifacts that decide the round winner. Decode 2 Mandel bricks in a match and the victory is locked in, no matter what round you're on. After 12 match days, the group stage standings are final. Places 1 to 2 go straight to the finals. Places 3 to 8 enter Survivor Stage Day 1. Places 9 to 10 drop into Survivor Stage Day 2. Places 11 to 12 are eliminated. The Survivor Stage is where the bracket narrows fast. Day 1 brings those 6 teams together for one 7-round match. The top 2 advance directly to the finals. Places 3 to 6 get 1 more shot. Day 2 mixes the 4 survivors from Day 1 with the 2 teams ranked 9th and 10th from the group stage. Again, 6 teams, 1 7-round match. Top 2 go to the finals. Everyone else is out. 6 teams, 1 day, 1 lobby, 1 match. This is the finals, the ultimate showdown of the season. 2 teams earned it through the group stage. 2 more survived Day 1. The last 2 came through Day 2. Every team deserves to be there. The top 3 finishers earn an invitation to Season 2. Welcome to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Loot, shoot, extract.
Well, there you have it. That are the stakes right there, folks. A lot of fun to listen into to see where everybody will line up on our leaderboard. But let's talk about the match today. This is the most important part. 1.5 million technicality per player playing on Season Echo. Gonna see more, not gonna see N2. If you die, you lose your gear just like pubs. And of course, we are playing for those mantle bricks. If a team is able to capture a mantle brick twice at any point in this competition, they will win outright right then, right there. It could be earliest at map 4 because we have a mantle brick on round 2 and 4, not one on 1 and 3. And then, of course, it could happen on 5, 6, or 7 by the time we get to the end of this competition. Max wheel play is 7. And finally, of course, every operator can only be used twice by a team. You run double Nox on Tide Prison, that's the only time you can use Nox. You get the idea. You've been here before. I'm sure you have. Finally, of course, if we do get to round 7, everything reset in the operator category. However, also we've got safe boxes. Players use this often because players like to stay on the map to go for these kills. Why? Well, they're 800k Technic alloy per kill. So if you can win a team fight, that's 2.4 mil, and it'll just pay for your kit that you still have on the map. Only reason you want to extract is that you could keep some of the loot on you, like gold gear, because you can only buy those once per overall match. So some other ways you could get gold gear, but it's really important, yes, to extract, but mainly to go get those kills. Other ways you can get some cash, there's some fixed supply just in case you are totally broke. Every single round you're getting 700k, and decoding mana bricks and copying those codes will get you a little bit of cash as well. But mana bricks are the most important part. It is what our leaderboard is sorted by first. So look at the mana brick rules. The important things to remember is, yes, it is open for grabs at the spawn pretty early in the game, but once it's grabbed, you have 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes. So it's on the ground, exchanging hands 30 times, doesn't matter. 5 minutes on the clock, starting right when it's grabbed, to go to a decoding station or to go back to its spawn. Once it's put into a decoding station, it cannot move. Once it's there, 4 minutes starts. Every steal resets it all the way back up to max timer, minus 30 seconds, and that stacks every single time it's stolen. The minimum time it can be reset to is that 90 seconds we see fairly often when teams are desperately trying for the brick. And if you get it there and the game clock is shorter than 90 seconds and somebody steals again, nobody's getting the brick. But one way to get a steal is, instead of going for that steal and getting shot while doing it, just kill the team that's currently decoding it, and that timer will pause. Makes things a whole lot easier. So the mana brick's the most important part. Those are the rules. Feel free to ask questions. I'm sure you're well aware of them this time around. But DK, as we look forward in this competition, we are wrapping up the group stages, talking about points and the importance of these points.
Well, the points are super. Have I said super yet? Yes. Well, they are really important, right? Because that is the way that the teams are able to climb up that board. And of course, first place is going to be worth a whopping 8 points, but you can make that even more by adding the Mandel bricks to it. So like yesterday, for instance, where we saw all the teams getting Mandel bricks, or quite a few of them getting Mandel bricks, each of those counts as a Mandel brick, and it counts as a point for them on the overall board. So you want to try and rake in as many as you possibly can. And like we were talking about earlier, for a team like MW, for instance, to make sure that they are going through to the next phase, they will have to aim for that 8-point position, and with that, of course, get the accompanying points for those Mandel bricks. And the best way to ensure that you get to that position is by making an absolute mad dash for squad points, right? So how we calculate the squad points is we take your kill points, which is 1 point per each of those kills, and we add to that the supply points. Now, how the supply points are calculated, it is simple. For every 2 million in total value that you have, or the profits that you find on the match, each 2 million is worth 1 single point. So if you get 3 million, that's 1 point. If you get 3.9, it's still 1 point. 1.9 means nothing, right? That is no points on the board for you with regards to that value. So you have to work it out in increments of 2 million. But of course, as you said earlier, aggression is also rewarded. We do have the glorious dynamic kill bonus, where each kill is going to be worth $50 as well. And that adds on to the amazing prize pool that we have here. First place being worth a whopping 60k. So that is going to be a very decent day, but everybody walks away with a slice of the action here, all the way down to that 12th place, which is going to be earning a little bit of something extra. And next week is when we see the MVP play coming up, right? That is where the player is going to be an additional $3,000 on top of everything else their team is able to secure. But our main focal point here today is going to be Group B and Group C. They are going to be wrapping up their final day, the final bit of action, and the final stretch, the last chance to secure all the available points for themselves.
That's exactly right, DK. Thanks for breaking that down. I think Groups B and C is going to be a ton of fun to watch. Again, this is the last chance for either of these two groups to play at all in the group stages. Last chance to get those points. Same thing tomorrow, except it's the last chance for Group A and D. The last match of our group stages will be wrapping up our 4 weeks of competition. I can't believe we're almost here, but let's talk about the teams today. B and C, we got to start with the team at the top. Evil Geniuses. Loco, you've seen his face like on 5 different graphics already, because this dude is unstoppable. KD here, I know it's for pubs, but it feels like that's his KD in this competition. My goodness, this is a dynamic team. They put up crazy amount of kills, and they're also playing for the bricks. There's only a couple teams in this league that are able to put up the amount of kill tallies that this team is able to do while also playing the objective. So watch out for Evil Geniuses to talk to me about FaZe.
Yep, FaZe one of those teams that are sitting kind of in the middle of the block here, so they have an opportunity today to try and climb up a little bit further. Fortunately for them, exactly where they are situated on the board now doesn't mean all too much, right? As we know, it is still going to allow them that potential opportunity to get through to the next phase. I don't really see anything happening to them that could be moving them from that position. But again, trying to get more points, more aggression on the board is going to help. But speaking about points, speaking about aggression, W Key Forever also going to be one of those teams that I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye on. They are sitting pretty much in the same position as we saw for FaZe, but we have seen some pretty strong performances come through from this team in particular.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody that could be looking to play for the upset, I would say it's them today.
Yeah, W Key Forever technically in 6th place overall and technically within striking distance of a top 2 position. They have to win today with a double brick. They have to pick up 10 points. That'll put them to 34 points, which would technically knock Spacestation Gaming out from the top 2, which of course Spacestation Gaming would only need 1 point to repass them. But still worth mentioning. It's possible for them. But LEVIATAN need a little bit less than that. This is a dynamic team who have put up fantastic numbers. They have found their way to 4 mantle bricks. They have 108 total squad points, but 84 eliminations, which is 2nd highest in the league, only behind Evil Geniuses, or 3rd highest in the league, only behind Evil Geniuses and Team Liquid, with W Key Forever there as well. These guys can slay out, they play objectives, they've gotten bricks, and they're at 28 points, so they need only 7 or so to take the top spot. Talking to me about MW, though, it's the exact opposite story. They're near the bottom, but they got a chance.
Yep, they definitely do have a chance, but they're going to have to lock in like they've not locked in before. Yesterday, I think, is a pretty good day for them, right? They really started with some pretty decent pacing. I mean, they were looking to up the ante. They were scoring decent points, but they're going to have to push a lot harder coming into today's play. Of course, looking at the players coming in from FX, aka Fluxo, they also find themselves in quite an interesting position. Again, right there in between W Key Forever and FaZe with regards to the overall points, sitting on a very comfortable 22 points. But it's not a position in where you could feel too comfortable, right? You still have to step out and make sure that you get the position locked in, you get it secured. Because even if they try to go for the top of the day, they might really play an upset here.
Yeah, I mean, several other things to play for. A team like FX have been a little sleepy to start in our group stages, but they've come online late. Everything's starting to work like a well-oiled machine, and I think yesterday was a good example of that. They play slightly differently than other teams. They play a bit slower, but they're still a team that has solid points. They're at 22 total right now in 7th place overall. It's worth reminding folks that if you land at the bottom of that mid-pack, you're going to have to play multiple days in next week's competition. If you find your way at the top of that mid-pack, you may only play 1 rather than 2. So it's really important that you still are scoring points, even if you find yourself kind of in a position where you can't go home, but you also can't go straight to Championship Sunday. So some fun conversations there, but of course, all eyes now on the first map of the day. It's going to be Zero Dam. Here's our operator list. You know them, you love them. The only one you don't see is N2, but you will see the rest today. We will hit every single operator today, most likely. There's a chance no one runs Seneva, but Megalus has been showing us that Seneva can be valuable on Tide Prison. Certainly not on Zero Dam, though. It's going to be D-Wolf. It's going to be Raptor. Occasionally you see an Uluru, Toxic, etc., but that third operator is kind of up to the player's preference. Any thoughts on the operator comp here for Zero Dam, DK? We're pretty used to at least a Raptor and D-Wolf on most teams.
Yeah, I think that third operator, if it's not Raptor or D-Wolf that is going to be coming in, you know, whatever they use as an alternate is just a little bit of a flex, right? Just looking to try something out, and maybe it could be exactly what they need to give them that upper hand. So I'm excited to see what the teams are going to be going for and exactly who they're going to be choosing as their operators to kick off the proceedings for today. But so far, it's been pretty standard, right? And I'm actually quite excited to see what Seneva could be bringing in if we see him come in a little bit later on. It's always exciting to have a bit of a smackdown, right? Even if it is a guy with a really big shield.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like a good Seneva every once in a while. I'm going to be honest. It shakes things up. I can respect it. And we've seen some pretty interesting plays with him. But no, it'll be cool to see what they do on Zero Dam. I do want to remind everybody about Zero Dam very quickly. Maybe you're tuning in for the very first time. I don't know. Zero Dam is the original map. This is the map that everybody knows. Everybody loves it. It's an admin bang out. Everybody just full sins into admin looking for hopefully some nice loot if they get a tier 1 spawn. But because it's an eco round, there's a couple things to remember. You can run the wall breaker mission Spacestation, just like you can in pubs, and get some high tier loot. Very helpful, and it gives you those lucky wooden sculptures. So we'll be seeing who goes for that wall breaker to get those lucky wooden sculptures and potentially get some extra golds in this match. But the other thing is that the airdrops are super important, and there's a couple different places they can land on the map. So there's not like a necessarily best spawn for the airdrop. You kind of got to figure out where it'll land through the RNG. That first airdrop will drop that high caliber weapon. We're talking the M82, 50 cal. It could be, of course, the Lapua ammo with the You're only getting 5 shots, but we've seen how unbelievably important 5 shots or less, even 1 shot, can be with those high caliber weapons in some of these engagements. So some players will elect to just use it on the map, go for the kills, you know, trade a 100k bullet for an 800k trade, because that's how much money you're getting for the kill plus the kill point. Or some players will elect to take that high caliber weapon and just get out of the map with it so they can use it on a Mandel Brick round. Classic story here with Zero Dam. The biggest question in mind, and our hypothesis is right now, DK, that I think are important to talk about, is what type of a Zero Dam map are we gonna get? Are we gonna get a map where, hey, the eco round truly is looking for eco, like looting? Or is the eco round gonna be a round where they go kill each other to try to get that money up because it's so valuable to do so?
Hey, let's be honest, they do that on every round. Right, so.
Hopefully. I'd like to see a lot of action today. I'm feeling a little feisty.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, as we know, eco round is where you try and get as much liquid as you can, right? You try to play for as much profit as possible, because that makes it easier when we get into those brick rounds, so that you can actually get even more of the gold, right? Use it for more rounds, and that really helps boost the team's overall confidence when stepping into that match. So excited to see exactly how that is going to pan out. But yeah, I mean, ideally the focus here would be to go for loot, or if you don't want to go for the loot, go for the teams that have the loot and try and challenge them, see if you can take it from them. And hey, who knows, you might be walking away with an M82 or a AWM, call it an ARM, call it an AWAM, whatever you like, a big boomstick, get one of those. So there are different ways of getting your hands on that. And I mean, we've actually seen across several of the days where, you know, teams go out, they grab that first drop, but then unfortunately things happen, right? They get taken down and they don't get to extract the weapon that they so stealthily were able to acquire. So I want to see if we could maybe have some of those make their way up into our Mandelbrick rounds.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Definitely worth keeping in mind. As players load in, you can see faces of anxiety, faces of determination, faces of calm. Loco looked like he was chilling. Mr. Dio God is looking a bit antsy. No dancing today from the FaZe crew. All locked in, making sure they are ready for Zero Dam. And so far, so good. I think everybody's about to be loading in here in a second here, Mr. DK. And I think in general, one thing I would want to look out for at these teams is where you find yourself on the group stage leaderboard has to dictate how you play, right? I think a team like Evil Geniuses can play fairly defensive. They can play nice and relaxed. They don't have to stress or push the boundaries of any of their playstyles. Everything that they've been doing has been working. And if they wanted to, they could get really aggressive. You know, there's some risk inherently with that. But instead, playing defensively, playing a bit slower, methodical, just looking to at least get 1 brick, put some points on the board, should secure them a top 2 position. Now, of course, there's $50 on the line per kill, so hey, why not go for that? But some of these other teams, I mean, MW, of course, in particular, has to play for the win. They have to play for the brick. If they don't show up to a brick fight, it's a mistake. But some of these teams in the middle, an opportunity to maybe make top 2 relies on you getting extremely aggressive and going for kills. You have to put yourself up the leaderboard if you need points. So go for some kills, get aggressive, wipe some of the top teams. It'll give you such a better chance at winning this competition. Inherently, this game mode is an objective-based game mode, but I say this all the time. Sometimes there's an objective, but the objective becomes a whole lot easier when there's less players on the map. So go get active. Let's play for some kills. Wipe some folks on the map. It'll hopefully help you make getting that objective a whole lot easier.
I mean, we've got a little bit of data to kind of help us with today, right? Because this is the second time that we are looking at Group B and C stepping onto the field together, right? The last time we saw them was all the way back on in match 6, day 6, where both of them stepped on forward. Evil Geniuses had a phenomenal run that day, picking up the 2 quick bricks, just you know, making it a very, very short day. And so we could be in for a very, very similar kind of approach coming into it here. And that with it, of course, brings quite a bit of pressure onto these teams trying to have it turn out differently, right? Because looking back at it previously, I mean, MW, they played a really good match on the first Zero Dam that day. Well, the only Zero Dam that day, but they were able to extract, right? They got themselves out of there. And WK Forever, they were the first team to get taken on down. So I want to see how the teams are going to be looking to change up the proceedings, right? Is it going to be the same kind of flow, or have they now learned from all the days of play after that to bring all those improvements up to kind of change the way that they are approaching these rounds? So that's what I'm going to be looking at to see kind of just what the change is, right? Is it the same, or is there maybe a little bit of different spice coming into the mix as well? I like the extra spice.
Yeah, totally fair. Well, just to recap for a moment, I believe players almost ready to go. Thank you for your patience, folks. We are just dotting our I's and crossing our T's for these players. I think one of them needed to reset very quickly, so that we'll get into the game very shortly. But to recap a little bit, you know, again, talking about that leaderboard and the minutia around it, the top 2 teams in the entirety of the group stages go straight to Championship Sunday. What that does for you is twofold. One, you don't have to play stages where you could make some mistakes and potentially get kicked out in the Survivor stages, which is Friday and Saturday next weekend, right? Which is a big good thing. But also, it puts you top 6 assuredly. You make it to that final lobby with 6 teams in it. Top 6 means you're earning a lot of cash regardless if you get last in Championship Sunday. So this top 2 position is a ton of cash that is automatically going to go your way, and a chance to play for a whole lot more and play for the win, of course. And so that's the big fight that we're paying attention to at the top. The only teams that technically even have a chance at that are Evil Geniuses, Spacestation Gaming, Nightmare, Leviathan, and then Team Liquid and WK Forever are kind of in play. It will require Evil Geniuses and Spacestation Gaming to basically not score any points in their last match. It's possible. Unlikely, I would think, but still possible. So the main 4 I'm looking at, especially the ones playing today, Evil Geniuses, currently in first at 35, and then Leviathan at 28. If you see Leviathan pick up 10 points here, I think there's room to be a bit scared if you're Spacestation Gaming, frankly. And Evil Geniuses, who could go down early. Yeah. But folks, I believe it's time to kick things off. Thank you for your patience. We are jumping straight into Zero Dam. Fun conversations on a group stage leaderboard, but let's pay attention to the match today. It's our first eco round. Let's get active, and you know what that means. We've got our very first giveaway for you here on the main stage. Type in the code on your screen to redeem in-game or at the official website. You all know the Neko Mimi spray paint. Go get it right now. Only 35 of you will earn it, so 35 redemptions means you got to type quickly. Get ready, type it in as fast as possible, and of course, if you miss this one and it says invalid, that means you were too slow. But there is a lot more coming your way as per the usual. Let's jump into Zero Dam though, DK. Take it away as we see what these teams decide to run, how they address their spawns, and who potentially gets that tier 1 spawn and heads straight to admin to find the best loot.
Well, speaking about the spawns, speaking about tier 1, we've got 2 teams on that already. It is going to be WK Forever as well as MW. As you can see, both teams just making a mad dash to get up into that admin building. FaZe, in the meantime, working their way up towards that barracks position as they just come in, dealing with a few of the bots alongside them. Leviathan, though, quickly to get their hands on a bit of the red loot all the way up in Visitor Center. So a nice bit of an entry point there for them. FX, of course, pushing straight up in towards Major. So nothing major happening just yet. It is going to be the teams looking to take things nice and slow. But the pressure is going to come in really, really quickly, especially looking at MW and WK Forever's position here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important to note a couple things about this tier 1 spawn. You got a tier 1 spawn on an eco round. That's great. Admin actually has great loot. You can go get Saeed, like you see. I believe WK Forever got there first. Is going to get Saeed. That's awesome. Here's the thing. That also means, as by the way, FaZe's Sudoka does pick up a drone for $500,000. It also means that you're not going to get a tier 1 spawn on the next Mantle Brick round. So you better make this count, especially for both of those teams who are in a position to kind of go for broke. WK Forever just very securely in the mid pack. They need a win today to even potentially go for top 2. Whereas MW, if they get a win, they no questions asked, or at least making it to next week and have no risk of relegation. These two teams should get extremely aggressive and go for gold. One way to do that is take advantage anytime you are given a gift. And it's a bit of a curse because you can't have a tier 1 spawn in the next round, but take the gift that you have of admin, go take a fight and see who comes out on top and try to win the map.
Yeah, I mean, the main objective here, especially for MW that now got their hands on a nice red card there, is going to be to try and pick up no less than 5 points today, right? Anything less than 5, and they're in danger. So let's see whether or not they can get the job done here. In fact, actually, they need 7 points to check. But, yeah, let's see how this one is going to pan out.
There'll be execution.
Yeah, hey, fair enough, man. I love these vibe checks that we do with these players because oftentimes they keep it as simple and sweet as possible. One word, execution. Gotta execute today. Totally agree. Nice vibe check there from Crab. WK Forever. WKF. And also, why don't you just WK Forever? Just literally run at everybody. I want to see some craziness. And Evil Genius is going to slowly work their way towards this party. But for now, the classic standoff, mid-admin. Looks like Pecky maybe spotted Pildora on the other side. Spotted each other. They're going to slow their roll and see who makes the first mistake.
Ooh. Nice bit of spray going through here as well, all the way from FX as they are pressuring that rotation coming through from Leviathan. And I mean, that's actually a very interesting position for them. We've not seen a whole lot of fights really coming through over on this side. But there we go. The angles are going to look to be leveraged as MW and WKF are heating things up. And it's good to see, right? We've had a few standoffs here where teams took a hot minute to get into the action. But for today, they mean business. And I mean, MW, they need to keep a cool head here, right? Every engagement here for them is going to be super, super important. Every angle matters for them.
There's actually a really important note to see that WK Forever, you can see it right now on your screen. Look at Crab. Picked up some gold armor from Saeed because they got there first and found Saeed on their side of admin. So with that, has a clear advantage in this engagement. In the first round, if you don't know, everybody is going to load in with purple gear, but blue ammo. It's the only map you'll see everybody running blue ammo. So with that in mind, Crab is going to be a tank on the map. They should feel like they have an advantage in this fight.
I mean, that of course is only if it's body shots. Ooh.
Big fight
Good
here for
play
Pecky.
coming in from Peaky.
Slowly, WK Forever is hunting their prey. And it looks like Rapids couldn't quite leave with his team, so he tries to hide behind the desk to stay alive. And they sniff him out, but the other two definitely get out. So a decent play there from MW, and they felt like they got pushed and didn't have the advantage anymore. They just got out of the fight. I like this. Go play at the stairs, play a heady, play potentially an ISO on some of these 1v1s. Isolate one, and all of a sudden you're in a fight that's a little bit more fair.
I mean, they're going to have to really dig into that bag of surprises to see how they're going to be able to leverage today in their favor here, especially now with that body getting camped up. They know the only way for them is to show aggression. They need to rush. But at the same time, they actually have quite a bit of time. The rest of the lobby all now focusing on each other down towards that far southern side. So it creates exactly the kind of position they're looking for. Great shots coming through from Loud. But now they've got to follow it up. Just keep on applying that aggression. And a quick off-angle push coming through here from Peaky. Just keeping the pressure on. Making sure that Rapid cannot get a successful entry up that staircase.
It was actually a great shot from you earlier. They've got to hit headshots on Crab. I think a couple of those shots landed top chest. You could see Crab was able to stay alive with very low health. Things go slightly differently there. If they don't get Saeed early, Crab could be down. This could be a true 2v2. MW have spread out, though. Completely split. Trying to isolate ones against a team of 3 that is as methodical as WK Forever is quite difficult. But now with the MW fully split, they may not even look for some engagements. Evil Genius is on our screen, though. We've got action elsewhere. Articuno able to trade out one, but he goes down as well. Muamua, Loco, nearby each other, but a bit split as well as FaZe is in the area. And they've lost one of their own in that trade, but maybe in a bit better of a position.
I mean, not a bad start here for either side, though. Evil Geniuses, we know that they always have some sneaky plan up their sleeve. But I like the contention coming through from FaZe, making it very, very difficult for them to gain any successful kind of pacing here. Meanwhile, all the way back over into admin, MW really shifting the position of the engagement, the altercation going to a whole different level. But look at this, though.
No way. FX is putting the pressure on. They're going to wipe Leviathan. They don't even get a kill back. FX, full swing in, take down Leviathan. Do an unbelievable job of just full sending. This is not the same FX we've seen in other engagements. This is an FX that desperately wants to claw at a potential top position on this leaderboard. They're full sending an extremely impressive team, and they're winning it. Great job from FX winning out in that far southeast engagement. They'll swing back up towards FaZe and EG here in a moment. As long as they can get all the loot that they need, they could still third party this if this fight on your screen takes a little bit too long.
Yeah, it could maybe turn into a war of attrition here, but it needs to be concluded at some point, right? They don't have an infinite amount of ammo or supplies. Al Snows, though, up on the top side, is going to get spotted out as Loco locks in. Oh, look at the hits, though. I mean, Evil Genius is just flushing out FaZe.
Yeah, that's a great fight there. Great hip fires from Evil Geniuses. In the meantime as well, if you all are paying attention to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, WK Forever finally won that engagement against MW, found the right angle, got one knocked, and were able to full send as well. So both the fights happening at the same time, and it looks like Evil Geniuses and WK Forever will win those engagements. So FX, WK Forever, Evil Geniuses will heal back up, all 3 together again. We've got 3 teams of 3 left and 3 teams gone. The biggest question in my mind, WK Forever, how much value can you get out of this win? You are an admin alone. There is nobody on the north side of the map. There's an airdrop nearby as well. You all can't see it on the mini map, but we can see it on our side. It's just outside of admin. They can go get our high caliber weapon from this map and all extract through the elevator, because the only other people on the map are down at the conditional buy extract at the south side of the map. I mean, we're like, FX is rotating over from Visitor Center. Look at this. Airdrop on the far left side of admin. Evil Geniuses and FX now having healed back up, gotten their teammates back on their feet, and looted up. They're going to get an engagement down here. WK Forever can do whatever they want on the north side of the map. They don't know that yet, but a couple Raptor drones, and they're going to be feeling like they are walking through paradise.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great spot. Let's take a look at the replay here. What happened with MW. Good push coming through from Crab. Again, that gold armor just really helping him out in the situation. But Beaky just so on point with aggression here. And again, Muamua just closing that one up. You got to give it up to MW. They tried, but fortunately, though, for them, this isn't going to be the make or break play, right? They still have an opportunity to try and bounce back for the day. So they're going to have to just lock in with that aggression coming into round number 2. But speaking about aggression, though, look at the hits coming through from Evil Geniuses up onto FX.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fight we knew would happen at some point. I think the biggest question in my mind is just whether or not these teams elect to actually get really aggressive and smoke and run and try to play for this. I definitely favor Evil Geniuses' position. With where they're at right now, FX to rotate into this fight, you're going to have to go wide out in the open. And I'm not sure smoke is enough cover for a guy like Loco on the other side. FX could try some wild wrap and take a long time for this fight. There's still 7 minutes in this game in our first zero jam map. And every map's 18 minutes, but still feels like a long time. Now, a quick look at another airdrop. Both airdrops have quite luckily landed on the north side of the map. So WK Forever is getting even more gifts and boons. I mean, I don't know what genie they wished from a bottle to get everything that they wanted on the first map, but the genie delivered, my goodness. Gonna pick up some golds and reds out of the top one. Gonna pick up high caliber weapon from the one from the west. And then they're just gonna leave through the elevator extract. Like I said, what a start for these guys.
I mean, it's great, right? Because last time we saw them on here with like up against the exact teams that they're facing now, they were the first squad to get wiped. And so for WK Forever now to survive this and make it all the way through, this is a good turnaround for them. But of course, they still have to make it all the way to the end of that extraction with a little bit over 3 minutes left on the clock. A lot can still happen. And interestingly enough, though, Evil Geniuses, they've kind of pushed up right towards that hole in the wall, pushing through up in towards admin. And looking at FX, they're also heading to, but they're taking the very wide rotation around, right? Looking to go through the dam, trying to push up, come in from that top edge. So yeah, that is a very interesting strategy. But fortunately for EG, they've already spotted them.
Yeah, Evil Geniuses probably noticed that, hey, there's no way they're rotating at us. And we may as well go play for the elevator extract as well. We've got plenty of time to get up there. In the meantime, as you were talking through that, DK, we did see WK Forever pick up that So a nice pickup there for a team that has had everything they wanted and more. AWM will be brought into the next round if they're able to get out with it. They've got a power position on the map inside the elevator extract, but that doesn't mean they're always going to win that fight. FX and Evil Geniuses rotating at the same time. They see each other, and FX make a move to take the zip. Feeling a ton of pressure from shots being fired from Evil Geniuses. Unfortunately, so far away with not fully kitted gear because it's the first round of the day. FX doesn't lose anything but some vest damage and gonna have to repair it there and maybe a little bit of help. With a little bit of help, rather, they might be able to get to that elevator extract. Only problem is that the way down from up here, it's not safe. So Evil Geniuses could elect to just hold FX, keep them from extracting here if they wanted to, and just let WK Forever get out via the extract.
I mean, that could be one strategic way to try and work through it, but yeah, I'm not quite sure if that is going to be the approach that they'll be opting for here. I mean, both FX and Evil Geniuses, not the easiest position to play for. Yes, it is looking a lot easier for the side of Evil Geniuses as they don't have to put themselves in a little bit of an exposed position to actually get up close and personal. But there's going to be a lot of that long-range engagement, at least for the time being. I don't really see them backing up the way that they came, right? Because that, again, will put them in the exact same position, getting fired upon from the side of the Evil Geniuses. So we essentially just have ourselves a bit of a waiting game. And WK Forever, they are just 45 seconds away from getting that extraction. So they could very comfortably now just be completely unfazed, right? Because they are blessed with the engagement coming through from FX and EG.
Yeah, to be frank, I like Evil Geniuses' play. I like that they're holding a team from being able to go for the extract. But at the same time, they don't know for a fact there's a team in here. But since the lever is pulled and they were at Substation, I think they have a pretty good idea there's a team inside. And maybe they're just thinking, hey, we're not going to win that engagement. So let's hold a team from being able to play for it themselves. And we'll just do our thing. So they're just going to hold. 3 minutes on the clock. WK Forever say, wow, I'm really surprised that nobody decided to show up. Weird. Huh. I wonder what's going on out there. See you later. They're going to leave at least one on the map to go for some kills. Pecky's going to stay. The other two get out. And Pecky on Nox is going to pop ult and just try to pop takeover. I mean, why not? Go for it. 3 minutes on the clock.
I think that is probably feeling a little bit odd for Biggie, just sitting there, and even after the team leaves, nobody arrives, right? Anticipating at least a little bit of aggression coming up towards that extraction. But it does seem EG have changed their minds, falling back all the way over towards Substation, looking to work their way through, fighting with the Rocketeer, getting their hands on a little bit of that action. And now, of course, the big part is going to be to try and find as much value as they can. But now we do see Biggie moving out here, and this could be that opportunity for FX to find a little bit more action.
So, yeah, it's an interesting conversation, actually, because, yeah, FX are no longer being held. Why? Evil Geniuses, I think they bought the South Extract, actually. So I think they're going to be able to just get out via the bot side of the map, which is why they elected to go hold FX at the top, because all they cared about was another team not playing for an Extract and getting more points. So should see Evil Geniuses potentially get out if I am correct. But speaking of sneaky, let's take a look at Peaky. Hello, that's a freebie. One goes down, needs to confirm it. He gets it. That's an extra point for WK Forever. Not going to get two, or is he? Oh my goodness. Almost grabbed two, but ran out of bullets. Hey, that's a great try. And frankly, that's worth it. That's 800K and a kill point straight to the bank. That's probably what his kit's worth, or close to it. And that kill point is worth a ton. So nice job there, at least to find some value.
Yep, a quick bit of a refund coming through on that end. Meanwhile, Evil Geniuses, they are going to be pushing straight up to the bait extract here. As you can see it now, just going off. This could be their exit. As you can see, Mumu already there. I mean, not crazy value in their bags currently. They are sitting with 3.5 million. So that does, of course, award them that 1 point if they can get all that value extracted out of this round. So that is going to be Evil Geniuses now getting ready to send themselves off here. I mean, overall, not a bad run. WK Forever also made it out with at least 4.1 million in the bag. Ooh, and the entirety of Evil Geniuses are going to get the...
Yeah, and this is the right play. I missed it earlier just because there was so much engagement down there in fights, and we were popping back and forth. I didn't actually see them go for the buy and complete that mission, but a really smart play from them. High IQ to go get that, buy the extract, not take it, go up, hold the team from being able to play for kills. One, because it prevents that team from potentially getting out as they go through parkour course after the zip from the ridge to try to get out via elevator. But two, it also prevents WK Forever from finding more kills and still extracting. So it was really high IQ play there from Evil Geniuses to still get out and get the hold. But WK Forever certainly are the biggest winners. They're able to pick up a total of 4 kills, as is FX, but they also got the AWM out with 2 of their players. Evil Geniuses, a solid rep as well, with all 3 of their players getting out, and FX still a decent run with 4 kills of their own. So fun map for 3 teams, not so much for the 3 others.
Yeah, I mean, I think a very balanced performance overall, especially getting our final day underway for them. But it all boils down to what they can do moving forward from here. WK Forever, though, is going to be our best squad here, walking away with those 4 kills, 4.2 million in the bag, and of course 838 damage as well. So a very decent day, a good performance. But they just got to keep that consistency going. One team, unfortunately, that I was hoping would do a little bit better here was going to be the side of NW. So hopefully this is not going to kind of put them on a bit of a back foot moving into that second round. But, I mean, WK Forever and Flux FX both sitting with 4 kills to their name. And it is really going to help give them that overall point boost.
Yeah, a couple small notes there on the leaderboard as well that are not shown is that Crab also got out with the gold armor from Saeed. So that's a nice little boon moving into the next round, potentially bringing in gold going into the first Mandelbrick round and earn even more advantages. Quick look there. Tommy Ozo was cooking. I really enjoyed watching how they played their fights. Again, FX, we've criticized in the past to a very minimal and minor degree that they just don't play very aggressive. They play a bit slower. This time, not the case. Marino does pick up 3 assists. He was kind of the hero of FX yesterday, so to see him popping off, but his teammates also backing him up was a huge win there. And then Crab, of course, finds the most assets with gold armor, and I believe Crab also was the one that picked up the AWM and got it out. So great job there from WK Forever. Articuno there in second because they were able to get out as well. But Tommy Ozo, with 4 kills that the team got, he netted all of them, and because of that, he's going to be our round 1 MVP.
Yep, well-deserved performance coming through from them here. Now, that is only the first MVP spot for the day. 4 kills, 494. A lot of 4s over there, and of course, a lot of 1s as well when it comes to the assets. But as we know, right, it all boils down to what kind of the consistency these teams can bring on in.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, speaking of consistency, folks, do you think you're going to be more consistent than some of these players? Do you think you can compete with the best in the Delta Force Rise series? Guess what? we're wrapping up Season 1. Season 2 is right around the corner. August 10th is when open registration starts. You can see it down below. Make sure you're paying attention to social so you can go register and potentially join the Delta Force Rise series for Season 2. You know how some of these teams got here? They went through open qualifiers. Most of these teams got here through open qualifiers. So it's your chance to hopefully join some of them in Season 2. Go get into it. August 10th is when open registration starts, okay? So pay attention to those socials. Drop a follow everywhere you can find Delta Force, including their esports channels. We're going to take a very short break here in the booth. When we come back, it's going to be our first Mantle Brick round. We'll see what W Keep Forever could do with all of those boons.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little... So, hang on a second, NL! Look at that! It's an absolute sweat! And LG's got it, though. They're here. Lines them up, even through the shot. You're nuts! For the last remaining 3 BOB, they find 2 instant knocks. The Helm's gonna be hopping off that.
Got the Mantle Bricks. Find it. Stop them. Mantle Bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first hit the brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, not gonna do very much. Oh. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. And there it is.
Welcome back to the Delta Force Rise series. We just wrapped up Zero Dam. 3 teams found some success and 3, unfortunately, got slammed. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes here with the Delta Force Rise series. And Groups B and C, frankly, I'm excited to see more of that. I need that type of energy. Some early fights, aggressive pushes, especially from teams like FX, W Key Forever, Evil Geniuses. These 3 teams started out hot. Let's see if the other 3 can pick things up. I'm very curious to see the leaderboard, though, because we know 3 teams did well, but did the success of WK Forever getting that out, moving into the next round, will that put them ahead of their opponents, or is Evil Genius all 3 getting out, maybe keeping them still within contention at the top of the leaderboard?
Yep, that's the interesting question, and we'll find out very soon exactly where the teams find themselves. Where are they located? But it does seem like there's a lot of strategizing coming through across the board here from everybody, making sure that they've got the tactics locked in as we are going to be prepping ourselves for that second round, heading into a little bit of that break action. So there could be quite a bit of that excitement coming through very soon. But yep, here we go without any delay, hopping straight into the leaderboard. And hey, yo, WK Forever, they had a pretty strong finish.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, again, like we talked about, 6 total supply points is huge. They picked that up on the back of the They send 2 out. They got 2 extractions. Fantastic. Prevent some of that loot lost, and they get that resupply. So 10 total points is great for them. Evil Genius is right behind. Fluxo right behind them. Those are the 3 teams that found success. The rest, not so much. FaZe Clan a hair higher than the rest just because they got 1 kill in their trades on the south side of the map. So pretty solid. Classic leaderboard here for the first round. Moving into our first mantle brick round, though, these squad points may be thrown out the window because we could have our first team with a brick that will leapfrog everybody up to the top of the leaderboard. Easily could see a team like MW or Leviathan get that brick here early in this match. Again, for those maybe just tuning in, you maybe missed the first round and you're excited about this mantle brick round. Reminder, this is the last match of group stages. This is the most important match of the entirety of these 4 weeks of competition. Last chance to hopefully creep your way up our group stage leaderboard and prepare for championship weekend next week. Quick look, though, at our operators here. DK, talk to me about operators moving into Brakkesh. What are you expecting to see?
Well, Brakkesh, we could normally see the usual kind of loadout coming through, a little bit more of a defensive play, but we could have a few of those Noxes maybe getting used here. Not necessarily the ideal map to utilize that on. We have seen quite a bit of the defensive approaches also being utilized, right? Engineers coming through, a lot of Uluru being utilized, Gizmo also getting played, but then of course the ever essential Raptor really coming in clutch on this map as well, really helping to gather the information to figure out where exactly you need to apply the pressure. And of course this exact lineup that we can see here has been used a grand total of 17 times with an extraction rate of 24%. And that is not because the teams can't make it over to the extraction. They don't want to, right? They keep fighting. As long as you get the mantle break, that is going to be the main and prime objective moving into Brakkesh here. Of course, Uluru, Gizmo, and Raptor also very consistent with the popularity just in general, right? Really, really good utility and value for these 3 operators on this map alone.
Yeah, I mean, I think this comp has really found its way to the meta for the main reason being, look at Royal Museum. You see those T1 spawns closest to it? They're Tier 1 spawns because that's where the mantle brick spawns, just outside of Museum. And the interesting thing about Brakkesh is that there's a decoding station right next to it inside the museum. And so you see these defensive or engineer operators like you're talking about be used on this map so often because they're so dang valuable for zoning off positions in CQB positions like inside of museum. Gizmo, great, utilizing that net, can stop somebody from even getting a steal. Like really big util. The incendiary, the Uluru rockets, these are big utils that can zone off a whole area, especially when it's confined like that. You may even see a D-Wolf with a triple blast. We've seen that a couple times because that util is so important on a map like this and a map like Brakkesh, where I would probably, I will have to maybe get some stats after the group stages, but I would probably say like 65 or 70% of the time the brick's just going straight into the museum decoding station, and it's a ballroom brawl in there with everybody playing for the brick. So that's why those engineers are so dang useful. You could even see a Shepherd here with Sonic Trap and his ult, but yeah, I think that's the main move. But then Raptor is super valuable. You don't want to use Luna yet. Luna's much more valuable in Space City. Raptor's kind of second best for gathering intel, and Brakkesh still has some wide open spaces, so you can try to figure out who's rotating where. But WKF trying to get nice and comfy for this match. I respect it. I know some of our players definitely like to play with a pillow in hand as they prepare for their next game. Comfortable means competitive.
That's not a pillow, bro. Setting up a hug. He's getting a hug while he's getting ready for some sweatiness in Delta Force, right? I mean, that is like the ultimate combo, right? Getting a lot of comfort coming through while having an absolute blast up here in the Rise series. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that you were saying is quite true, and the teams really utilize the engineers excessively over on this map, especially like with the Uluru's incendiary as well, right? That has been quite controlling when it comes to that decoding station in particular. So yeah, excited to see how these squads are going to be looking to go for their operators and who they will try to pick on up. I mean, last time we saw both these groups stepping onto the field, heading over into Brakkesh. Evil Geniuses, they got the decode. So maybe that is to tell us a little bit of a something here. Not quite sure. We also did see FX and WK Forever getting their hands on that T1 spawn. But as we saw in our first round today, W Forever got T1, so they most likely won't be getting it, or absolutely won't be getting it. And now it all boils down to who's going to be awarded those T1 positions.
Yeah, it's a fun conversation on Brakkesh because I've said this every broadcast. I know chat's like, Coach, you just repeat the same things. Well, it's because it's the metas, right? And some of you aren't here every day, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but this is the most important tier 1 spawn in the entire game. The reason why is twofold. One, it's literally, especially one of them, the southern one, the southwestern one, sorry, is literally right next to where the mana brick spawns. But also, it prevents you from getting a tier 1 spawn in Tide Prison, which means you still have a chance for a tier 1 spawn in Space City. So it's super valuable this early to pick up this tier 1 spawn. And if you do get the brick from this spawn, well, hey, guess what? You're going to be in a great position on the leaderboard, and you kind of are in a power position to determine what type of strategies you could play for Space City later. But let's hop into the game. It's time for Brakkesh. It's time for our first Mana Brick round, which means it's time for another giveaway. Thanks for being here. Get your typing fingers ready. You better type quickly. We've got an SR3M ready skin on your screen. Go get it right now as fast as humanly possible. 25 redemptions only. This giveaway is super important to type in quickly because your friend's probably typing it in faster than you, okay? The combat ready skin for the SR3M is on your screen. You can redeem it in-game or at the official website. Only 25 redemptions on this one. We've got maybe 1 or 2 more coming up down the line. So if you missed this one, if it says it's invalid, you were too slow. We got a lot of people watching right now, all trying to type it in a bit faster than you. Be prepared for the next one, though. I'll try to give you a little bit of a heads up. Keep that tab open so you've got a chance to hopefully earn some rewards. But let's hop into Brakkesh. DK, take it away. Let's see where the team spawn. Let's see who goes for the brick first.
Well, we got a little bit of that F and F, right? It is going to be FaZe and FX getting their hands on the T1 locations. NW, though, showing a lot of aggression right out of the gate. As you can see, rapid, well, quite rapid with his movements, trying to send it on forward. We do see LEVIATAN also coming up the back end there as they are pushing up alongside the hotel position. Not going to be aggressing too much, doing a good bit of due diligence before advancing too far. But FaZe, good rush, getting themselves situated as they look to set up within that museum. And, I mean, that helps them just secure the position, get those angles secured. But in the next 10 seconds, all hell's going to break loose as the teams can start pushing in for that metal break. Al's not wasting a single moment. Bro's just on it. He's like, you know what, I'm ready. Give it.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Spawn right next to it, grab the brick, move on your merry way, probably just go straight up plant it in the middle of museum. Everybody else can be playing catch up right now. And I'm going to be honest, doesn't look like the other team that had the tier 1 spawn is going to contest literally at all. You can see that some of the other folks in the area, yes, they're nearby. LEVIATAN near hotel, MW coming over from camp, but FX playing at market, not interested in playing super aggressive. So FaZe can kind of do whatever they want right now in museum by themselves. Evil Geniuses going to be rushing from the new tower Babel spawn. Sometimes teams will sit in there, loot up, try to get their money up. Evil Geniuses, we know how they play. They want kills. They want the mana brick. They're going to go rush to this fight.
Yeah, sometimes a little bit of rush is exactly what you need to get that heart pumping with all the edge about to follow suit. Good play there, Go. Taking a little bit of damage in exchange, but as we know, once Loco gets that angle locked in, there's going to be a whole lot of pain following right up alongside that. So Else knows really best to watch out. As you can see, the incendiary is already getting deployed here. And slowly, EG are trying to advance as they come through the spawn location, trying to kind of find that exact jump that will allow them up into the museum itself. But I'm quite surprised to see the rest of the lobby kind of just keeping their distance, right? Nobody has really sent it up aside from EG.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that they're trying to get probably some drones in the sky to get some intel as they rotate in. You don't want to be too aggressive because you can get cut down in rotation. There's some wide open sight lines covering some of these crosses and these open streets to get to museum. So they're going to slow their roll. There's still plenty of time on the clock. 2.5 minutes currently, but only 2 teams around the brick. FX, I'm not sure exactly what the play is here. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like they're just playing extremely patient and they're going to wait to just try to cover some crosses of some other teams going for the brick. There's also a chance one of their players is maybe reconnecting. I'm just going to put it out there. That feels like a wild play for now, especially when the brick is already being decoded. But 2 minutes on the clock. Here's Mr. Diogod actually playing down by himself low side to see if he can get A, some intel, but B, maybe a sight line on one of the members of Evil Geniuses while they try to figure out and prepare what their plan is to go for the steal.
Yeah, it's a very interesting looking setup that we have here, but it is going to be Evil Geniuses now getting ready for the action as FaZe does fire a few warning shots in their direction. I mean, the big team I'm going to be watching here is going to be MW, right? We do have them all the way up on towards that northern edge. Curious to see what their strategy is going to be. But good trade up from Diogod, picking up a beautiful 2-piece at the expense of EG.
You know, the smokes were in, and they just lost him. They didn't know where he was. They didn't know that he was on the stairs, and they just walked out in the open and got fried. Only one player left for Evil Geniuses, and it's Loco. If there's anybody that can 1v3, it's this man right here, but he has left Museum. He is not interested in playing for that position in a very tough fight. He's going to wait for somebody else to come get active at Museum and hopefully put a stop to what FaZe they're doing. This is one way to get some early points. Put the brick in early, make everybody run at you. I'll even call it out a little bit. Evil Geniuses with an interesting strat to run double Aluru in this moment. Maybe coming back to bite them. They didn't have enough intel. They didn't have enough util to get the intel maybe in Museum, or otherwise just a little unlucky. But a fight at hand. LEVIATAN maybe in a bit of trouble or causing it on the other side. WKF, they have the high ground, but that's about it. Widow's able to heal back up. Team is able to heal back up and readdress this fight from another angle. But this fight, good news for FaZe. There is no one at Museum. There is nobody able to push in because the two teams closest are fighting each other. And Crab, again, still alive with 1 HP. Back to cover they go. LEVIATAN may strike while the iron's hot. They may full send this. At least one of them. Socio Legend is going to take a first push here. He's their entry fragger. He's one of the top players for this team, at least according to all of our stat lines. Let's see what they decide to do.
Yeah, well, with that, of course, we also do see the extraction going right over towards FaZe, completely uncontested. Put it in early, and the teams do what they did right then and there. Still a lot of pressure being applied here by LEVIATAN as they're trying to get up onto W Key Forever. Just trying to find that position. Oh, good utility placement coming through, but the sprays just locking and jumps coming in all directions, but not allowing them to gain any position. As we do see MW in the meantime getting their hands on the AWM, but the pressure here from W Key Forever. Oh, will it work? Unfortunately not, though. I mean, LEVIATAN just wiping them out.
Yeah, a couple things happening there. I thought he closed the door, and I think he did too, but players able to sneak through, so he goes down. W Key Forever. Full wipe. They did trade out 1 kill at the very least. You know, take what you can get given the circumstances. But it was a great push from LEVIATAN and one worth taking. They couldn't really cross to go for the brick, so FaZe gets it for free. I know it was anticlimactic, but unfortunately, they win the early engagement. They wipe most of Evil Geniuses, so they get a brick for free. Nobody else can get there with a big fight outside. In the meantime, though, take a look. There's actually an engagement. It's not in the kill feed for a moment. I think I saw Pecky get cleaned up, one from WKF, with the... I think it was a Raptor drone that actually cleared up a down, is what I saw in the kill feed. I was looking back, and yeah, a nice way to use utility, I suppose, to clean up a down player so they couldn't get a res. But also, MW and FX have been staring at each other for a while. MW, I believe, picked up the first airdrop. You can see top middle of your screen right now. So MW actually have an in hand. There it is. Pildora's got it. Could utilize it on this map if they want to, if they can hunt down some of the players nearby. FX have not taken a single step. They're like me on a Delta Force show day. I don't leave my chair. I just sit here the whole time. They are hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I mean, they are just locked in and ready to roll. I mean, if you leave your chair on a Delta Force day, I don't know what to say about that, but yes, we prefer to stay seated the entire time. Loco, though, is going to be is going to find himself in an interesting situation here. I'm not quite sure if Loco is going to try and extract because, well, they have no value at this particular point in time. There are 2 extractions available for him to try and go, but that is, of course, going to draw attention from the rest of the lobby. Meanwhile, LEVIATAN FaZe still pretty much up into that Museum position. MW are going to be prepping themselves for that second air hazard is going to be coming in very, very soon. Meanwhile, FaZe, they are finding some good reds. But can they find even more now to push the value through the roof? Getting a few of those gels definitely helps a little bit. I mean, they are sitting on 3.3 mil. So they could essentially work their way up to 4 mil. But the important bit is they're going to have to get a potential extraction coming in their direction as well to just capitalize on it even more then.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe already got a huge boon of grabbing this early mantle brick. I think, honestly, for FaZe, the thing I'm thinking about is their group stage leaderboards. I mean, just that extra point of the mantle brick. They weren't in a position where they could get eliminated, but they were in a position where they potentially would have to play a bit more matches. So this could jump them up the leaderboard, just putting themselves with one mantle brick to assuredly a top 8 position where some of these other teams may not be able to catch them. We'll see, though. Still in the line and still a lot more to play in this match. Even on Brakkesh, there's a lot more to do. One thing you can do is MW is kind of just achieving objectives on the map. They weren't able to play for the brick, or decided not to. They got their and now they're going for the boss to go for those lucky wooden sculptures to maybe get some more golds for future rounds. We'll keep our eyes on that. Here's a look at it as they search the boss that they just took down. Get those sculptures. They'll be able to trade that in with a little bit of extra cash as well to get the exchange tickets to go get some extra golds. It's a way you can get golds aside from just buying it outright, which you can only do once per overall match.
Yeah, I mean, value is value come end of the day, and, you know, those golds can really come in clutch, especially when you find yourself in quite a bit of a predicament. Speak about predicaments, though, there's only one player with a predicament. That is still Loco, working his way all throughout the map. Meanwhile, up here in the central position, it is going to be FaZe, FX, MW, and LEVIATAN. But MW might not have an easy push over towards any kind of a drop here if they are going to be keeping their eyes on that loot. As you can see, FaZe just poking out the window here. And of course, up to the other side, it is going to be Sidoka, who's keeping a very close eye on exactly here where LEVIATAN are going to be trying to move around. So the teams have a great opportunity to go out and get aggressive, pick up those eliminations.
Yeah, frankly, there's not much else to do. FX got the second airdrop. MW got the first. FaZe got the mantle brick. The only other objective is extract or go for kills. I suppose you could go to the new tower battle and loot up for a little while. There's only 7 minutes, though. So why not go for those kills? And I think Loco's going to do exactly that. There's really nothing else to do. And oh, nice shots over the top. Loco, unfortunately, gun bouncing a hair more than he would like and wasn't able to connect with all of those shots. So MW a bit weakened. Going to have to back off. Not knowing Loco's a solo. May want to get to a better position before taking this fight.
But I mean, Loco doesn't really need a team, right? Pro fights as if he is a team all by his lonesome. So yeah, I think that's a very wise decision being made by the side of MW, just putting quite a bit of distance between themselves and those shots fired. And meanwhile, FaZe, they are just milking everything out of this museum, trying to look in every nook and cranny as best they can. Now, of course, is going to be that engagement coming through potentially between LEVIATAN and FX all the way up towards that far northern edge of the map. As it does seem LEVIATAN are going to try and get themselves into that extraction to get at least a little bit of value out of this round.
Hot shots over the top. Socio Legend alive by the hair of his chinny chin. MW, you saw it on the map. East side, they're up at camp. FaZe is still inside museum, just looting up, making sure they cover every single safe and every single piece of loot that they can find. And they're going to go down and extract just outside of the Tower of Babel. Loco's going to meet them there. So the two main fights will be here, FX versus LEVIATAN, and then Loco trying to play hero around the extraction point, or just sneak in and share it with FaZe if they don't see him. We'll see what happens down there in a little while. This is the main fight at hand, and MW is not getting involved right now. They're taking it very slow. They're just chilling at camp, thinking maybe they can cover some people as they cross, but they're going to be bored for a little while unless they come join this fight.
Yeah, but I think it's a very respectable play coming through from NW. They are going to try and just survive as best they can. They do have 2.1 mil in profits. So it's going to help boost them. They need points at this stage, so they're going to have to play exceptionally tactfully. But in the meantime, Loco has wrapped all around this map. Bro's moving everywhere there is to go. Incendiary moves down over onto the side here of FX. Widows doesn't want to keep on throwing things around. Instead, sends the rocket out to find the exact position, the exact whereabouts. And also at the same time, try and keep that control over the extraction point. But it does seem like FX have been able to kind of push LEV out of that.
Yeah, this is a kind of interesting position. I wasn't expecting to see. One, you're about to see it on your minimap, especially if we swap over to Leviathan. Loco has actually elected, look at him, there he is. He's elected to, instead of playing for Heli Extract, he's going to actually play for Leviathan. He's going to play it to rat out in the corner. And he's going to get one here. He's going to let them all pass and see if he can maybe line them up. 1, 2. Can he clear them up? Get both confirmed. Holy cow. Leviathan, the rats are in. And actually, because Socio Legend wasn't with them, they couldn't respond in time. Loco is that guy. And he put himself in a great position and got a little bit of luck with Leviathan rotating this way. Wow.
Well, is he going to continue? I mean, Social Legend has taken an absolute beating here. Loco quickly managing to pat himself up. But out comes the rocket. Ooh, just helps apply the pressure on it to Social, as those the follow-up explosions definitely makes it quite difficult to get out of harm's way, especially if you're getting pinched down in the corner. But Social, a good recovery there. Not going to be taken out just yet, but a phenomenal setup and a good rat play coming through here from Loco. Picking up 2 free trades, just lighting them up so beautifully.
MW is elected to, instead of playing for the north side, is actually going to go for the south extraction. But we go back to Loco quickly because he was just laughing. He was like, are you kidding me? I got away with that. And unfortunately, Socio Legend gets pushed back into FX, who are lying in wait, saying, thank you for the gift, Mr. Loco. I appreciate that. Socio Legend will take you away from the scary man that just killed your entire team. And we'll grab a kill point for ourselves. But this is a big fight, a big engagement. 30 seconds on the clock for the extraction. And an advantage to MW. FaZe, yes, they may have gotten the brick, but they're about to get wiped. They thought it maybe would be free, but MW, playing patient, smartly, bide their time. Snows just sits inside of the smoke, and they can't find him. They know he's got to be still here. Okay, that Utah's going to connect. He's going to die. Just hip firing to get anything. Can't find it. FaZe, frustrated, but they got the mana brick. They can't be too mad. They're going to be top of the leaderboard regardless, but a great job there from MW to not only take down all of FaZe, but they're going to all get out as well if they'd like to, which they do.
Yeah, I mean, this is a golden opportunity now for MW to kind of just keep building on this momentum. I mean, full extraction, AWM in hand. That is exactly the kind of ticket they want. They got 2.8 mil in value, so that is going to award them more points and keep them in contention here. But looking at the position now for Loco, can he go for gold? Unfortunately, not. Incendiaries are going to be wrapping up the show for him.
Yeah, good job from Marino to just play safe and throw some util. FX actually sent 1 player out at the top side of the map, and they left 2 down here to just go play spoiler to a couple other teams. What they don't know is that that's the only player they can get. But a quick look at the replay. This was the highlight level move from Loco. He heard the footsteps, was patient enough to let 2 pass, and you can see the look of joy on his face saying, no way, I just got away with that. That was ridiculous. And here's the knock from Tiltora. I was wondering if he decided to actually use that because MW looted it earlier, and that's what opened up the floodgates of the push from MW. So a great look back there and a great catch from our production to catch that snipe, because that's a moment that really changes the game, and it continues to emphasize why these high caliber weapons are so important.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps you know, give you the advantage, and great capitalization coming through there from MW. But of course, FaZe, they got the most important part out of this round, which was, of course, getting that Mandel brick in the bag. Speaking about bags, though, there's going to be a little bit of a loot sesh coming through here, looking to see if they can find anything that is going to help boost the overall points, as the clock is about to get punched on out here. FX going for everything that they can cram into their safe boxes, but unfortunately, time is up and it is done. Round number 2 is wrapped.
Yeah, round number 2 is wrapped. And I gotta say, it didn't go as exactly as I planned. I really was hoping that we are going to see some more aggression around the Mantle Brick, but unfortunately, you kind of gave FaZe it for free. Our other team that picked up the T1 spawn didn't full send towards the brick and play standoff around it. They were content with not doing that, or maybe they couldn't do that for whatever reason that we're not aware of. And so FaZe get the brick. They go, where is everybody? Evil Genies just show up, and they nearly wipe all of them. They take 2 players down, and only Loco has to slink away with his tail between his legs. So FaZe get the brick for free. And then unfortunately, there's a big fight between 2 teams outside of Museum that kept them away from even going to play for the brick. So FaZe, a little bit of luck, and frankly, a lot of just kind of going for it. And again, I use this phrase so often because it's so apt to describe what they did. It's fortune favors the bold. Sometimes you just got to be bold enough to just say, hey, can we just grab this and make it happen and get our fortune? The answer sometimes is yes, there is risk associated with that, but sometimes you just got to go for it, man. And great job there from FaZe to just grab it. Pildora finds his way to the top of some leaderboards, but Loco is going to do the most damage with 2 players going down there and a lot of traded damage between himself and Socio Legend at the very end. So great job there from Loco. But of course, FaZe got some nice assists. FaZe the top team because of the brick. MW did find their way to some solid stats as well. You can see right here as top assets, Pildora will find his way at the top.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we did see Loco sitting in the strong position overall, but it is going to be Pildora, our MVP for this round. Very much needed for the side here of MW. The great opening play he brought through with the Bolty to just get the push for the team before they extracted. Really counting and helping them go the distance here. But yeah, I mean, aggression, and a little bit more of aggression coming in with that. And of course, if you want to share in the aggression yourself, head to the link that you can see on the screen. Go download yourself a bit of Delta Force if you've not done so already. Get in on the action. And speaking about action, we'll be getting in on the action in a short few moments right after the break.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little... So hang on a second, NL! Look at that! It's an absolute sweat! This... And LG's gotta know that they're here. Lines them up, even through the shot. You're nuts! The last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Elm's gonna be hopping off to that.
So hello guys, my name is Nose and I'm the second caller from my team and I'm playing support. So I have a friend who I have been playing other games, other extract games, and he told me about the Delta Force, and one day I tried to play this game and I just love the game and can't stop playing. So in my team I have Zero God, who was the attacker from our team. He also like when somebody called him by Mister. He loves to push the enemies, he loves to be aggressive, and basically he's the front line of my team. About Sidoka, he's the recon guy. He always been behind of our team, try to see where the enemies are and grab that tail to us so we can push them and kill them. And about Sidoka, being the last guy for the push, he always our clutch man when we die on the front line. So the last guy is Tony. He's our sub. He's a smart guy. He's not too aggressive, but he plays more tactical and safe. So we can have that play style as well. So basically we are a team that always tries to innovate. on the field. We don't like to play safe. We like to play aggressive. We like to empty and go to Manda bricks to be aggressive. I think that's the difference between us and other teams in the field. I am most proud of our dedication because everyone on the team is working hard every day to improve their play style, they're aggressive, they aim, and we went through many challenges together. And being qualified for the Pro League, I think it's a proof of everything we have been working together. Don't give up. We know some days it's gonna be hard. We know it's not easy. Just keep playing the game, keep improving, and never give up. One day gonna be the day.
The enemy got the Mandel bricks. Find and stop them. Mandel bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, not gonna do very much. Though. You get barrel stuff. Skitey is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There's so much damage in there. It is.
Welcome back to the Delta Force Rise series. Just wrapped up our first Mandel brick round, and FaZe got a free brick. Santa didn't get a new bag, but these guys found their way to a free brick on main. It was wild to see. They were able to take down 2 members of Evil Geniuses early, sent one packing, running away, and nobody else was able to get there in time. And with that, FaZe find their way to the top of the leaderboard, no question about it. Other than that, it was a weird map. People rotating odd, taking their time, Loco ratting out and finding 2. I'll be very curious to see what the leaderboard looks like going into Tide Prison here, DK.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one indeed. Of course, we can expect a little bit more of that creeping, a little bit more of a slow strategic push coming through here. But first things first, we got to take a look and see what the point situation is. FaZe Clan sitting up at the top there with 8 squad points in the bag. But Fluxo, W Key Forever, and the Evil Geniuses all now up on 10 points apiece.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I said it was going to be an interesting leaderboard. I had no idea what the spread of points would be, and it turns out they're all about the same. So 3 teams right about tied, but FaZe at the top because of the Mandel brick. But it's time for Tide Prison, and with Tide Prison comes a whole lot of sneaking and some different operators. A couple teams have used the Nox. We're going to see a lot more of them in this next rep. Nox, the main operator we talk about in Tide Prison for good reason. There's so many credit corners. You know that move that Loco made just a moment ago? You're going to see a lot more of that on this map as well. With that, though, comes not necessarily a counter, but another opportunity for some recon. Morse is a great way to get intel on the map, especially when you're afraid of somebody sneaking around the corner, or hopefully you're scanning to see if maybe they're right around the corner from you and you can go play aggressive. But either way you look at it, Tide Prison, an interesting one. Of course, DK, we got to talk about spawns. This is a T1 spawn you don't really want.
Yeah, I mean, because getting T1 here means you don't get T1 on the map, which it matters, which is going to be Space City coming up next. But somebody has to get it. It is unfortunate, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Speaking about crumbling, let's see who's going to be running around with milk, prepping to just go to town here as the teams are getting ready to load themselves in. We've not been seeing many crazy stuff happening just yet, and Tide could maybe be the one to turn the tide.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on Tide Prison. It's an eco round. And folks, I think it's worth reminding you, if you're looking at Loco and you're like, man, that guy's really good, but I want to play against him, who knows if you'll see Loco in Season 2, but you certainly could be there. August 10th, registration opens. It's your time to compete. You don't want to miss it. open qualifiers to earn a spot in Season 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. Drop a follow on all major socials to stay up to date on all that intel. But let's get into the map. Tide Prison we go. We'll see if it's a documentary or maybe more of an action film, as the first thing we open, we get a graphics card. All right, FaZe, I see your luck today. I respect it.
Yeah, good enough for who's going to be getting their hands on a lot of that good loot. But for now, we are looking at our two T1 spawn teams just making that mad dash, heading straight up to the office there. As you can see, W Key Forever and MW both now getting primed and ready to go as the staring competition is about to start, right? Who will win? Well, the one who refuses to blink. That is going to be the team to get the first hit in, potentially. Eldora, though, we've seen him be quite devastating in the previous round. Good at creating those opportunities and angles for his team. But for MW, this is going to be a very, very important play moving through here. Of course, getting the T1 spawn now means that they're going to have to work really hard in the next round to try and recover from that. But not all hope is lost just yet, right? WG Forever, though, about to get surrounded by MW. I like this kind of shift in dynamic. Speaking about dynamics, it is just knocks all over the board.
Yeah, I got a chance to look at loadouts and operator comps. We always talk about operator comps on this map. It's knocks on every single team, at least one. Actually, no double knocks this time around, which is interesting. And otherwise, we're looking at Morses. A couple Shepherds, too, as their thirds, but kind of same deal with another eco round like Zero Dam. Your third is kind of just up to you what you prefer. You can see a couple different operators in the mix. Hat Claw for FX is kind of a classic strat. I think the biggest question mark for me, not question mark, I see why they're doing it. Maybe they want to save a Morse for something like Space City. You don't often see Lunas used in Tide Prison. They're very valuable with that recon arrow, especially if you're going to play aggressive. You see EG and FX both running it. A fight at hand, though. Some util landing. And at least one team, W Key Forever, is utilizing Siniva. So we'll see what that shield can do in a 3v3 engagement on the south side of the map. Evil Genius is within the area, though. Could be a third party if this takes too long.
Yeah, definitely could be a third party. But Siniva could be quite helpful at this point, as we have seen quite a bit of success yesterday. But now WK Forever going to try and just kind of keep their heads on a swivel, as there's so many different angles moving through, so much coming in their direction. But again, MW not overcommitting to anything just yet, right? And I think that's a very respectable pace. But you were talking about EG that could look to come in third party. That is exactly what they're doing here. Slowly creeping up here. As you can see, Articuno and the rest of the team now just getting into position.
Patience of virtue with these plays. Especially as their Luna player. He's split. And in a pretty decent position to play the flank, yes, but don't want to get too aggressive here. You don't want to scam. You don't want to go down early. Luna is way too valuable of an operator that you're investing in this map. And these two teams are going to hold the line for a moment. Take their time. Let's do a quick vibe check with Leviatan's Eclipse to see what he's thinking before the game.
Describe my team's mindset in one word. I would say locked. We're locked in. We're gonna get this win and we're gonna take it home.
Fair enough. Locked in, DK. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you got to do, right? At the bare minimum, you have to lock in like you've not locked in before. Speaking about which, though, Leviatan going about the business here. As you can see, Eclipse trying to get his hand on that safe, grab a little bit of loot. Ooh, gets his hand on a beautiful golden bar. Meanwhile here, W Key Forever, though, they know that they have the knocks in the surrounding area. Out comes Siniva yet again. Going to try and pressure the position here, but Baldora being quite persistent, right? Not going to be backing off of the angles just yet. Trying to play out the window, looking for just that one pixel out of place, because that could mean that there's a big opportunity available for them.
Our GTI supply mission is about to be active here in 10 seconds as well. We'll keep an eye out for that. That's how you get your high caliber weapon here on Tide Prison. But the standoff continues. Nobody willing to sell. These teams have played this map too many times. They know if they get too aggressive here, they're going to lose the engagement. And frankly, it's hard to just full send on W Key Forever when they have a Saniva operator. One way to cause a bit of chaos is play around this mission. Play around the Warden and all of his NPCs that can help you out. And W Key Forever has roped one in and knocked him down. Waited for that play. Waited for the right moment. Crab able to get the cleanup on Pildora because he gets grappled in by the Saniva. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of saying, come here, we got a little bit of something for you. As, yeah, we do see our first takedown coming through, but now MW have to recover quite a bit of ground. Ooh, Leviathan, they're also looking to apply a little bit of pressure as they're going to be moving in on the opposing side, and especially with Eclipse and Widows and everybody about, MW, they're going to have their hands absolutely filled up with angles to try and cover here.
Socio legend in the area, Leviathan. Again, this is classic tight prison. Third parties galore. And with the raucous sound of the fight happening down below between the NPCs on the map, could cover some of the advances of a team like Leviathan as they push their way forward to try to get a little bit more.
Ooh, look at that. The Dio God getting his hands on a nice little bit of a server there. 1.3 mil in the bank.
Wow,
FaZe
yeah.
definitely finding all the good loot across this round here is already, right? They are up to 3.1 million in assets, so a pretty decent run here for them. And of course, they're the only team on that northern edge just going about looking in every available angle they can get that loot from. But in the meantime, Evil Genius also just making sure all the angles are covered. And I think MW, though, so far today, they've been having a pretty tough run, especially in this eco round as well. So we might see an opportunity for a bit of a bounce back to come in as we are going to be heading into those break rounds coming up next. But for the time being, still a big opportunity for the lobby now to focus in on the aggression, right? Get those plays, get the kills, and of course, walk away with so much value as well.
Yeah, quick look at that map does yield us a bit more info. One, you can see FX is actually spread out on the entirety of the west side of the map, getting a ton of info by sending Marino all the way down to the West Watchtower area on the southwestern side of the map, overlooking all of the water in the reservoir. Doesn't see anything. And here's that his teammates are now calling him back to come help out on the north side. Marino's going to go join them. Could see FX come get involved in some engagements on the north side, while on screen, Leviathan still hunts down the last remaining member of MW while that GTI supply mission is ongoing. Loud, trying to be sneaky, trying to be the rat. Unfortunately, a little too close for comfort. Couldn't quite center correctly. Down goes MW. They needed a solid round. They're not going to get it. And Leviathan able to grab 2 out of the 3, I believe, on this MW roster.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes now. EG have a good opportunity to get a bit of a jump in over on towards FaZe, as Articuno is just patiently waiting in the corner, hoping for a little bit of something to come. That more. Oh, Blake comes in. Articuno steps up, but unfortunately coming so close to getting the full takedown.
Yeah, Articuno going really aggressive there because he knows his team got his back. See ya later. Still on red. Can they pick up Articuno and save him from going to yellow timer? I believe they will be able to. Great play from Evil Geniuses to play patient. And then right when Articuno peaks, the whole team chows it. Really well done to clean up all of FaZe. So the team at the top gets cut down in second on this map. MW out, FaZe out on this map. It's going to be Leviathan left to still work their way towards W Key Forever. And Evil Geniuses with some nice kills have earned their place on the map, giving them a bit more real estate to work with in mid-map.
Well, let's see how the teams are going to look to play through this one. As Leviathan, they are now the team to try and kind of set the pacing here. 2.3 mil in the bag, 200 ahead of where WKF currently finds themselves. So let's take a look at the replay here. Leviathan coming in, absolute aggression, beautiful play But Articuno, as you said, right, stepping up with the aggression, knowing that the team has his back. And that's a bit of confidence that you need to be able to rely on, right? Knowing that you can make these kind of plays and you have that support, you have that backup right when it matters most.
And again, didn't I say it's going to look very similar to the play Loco made by himself in the previous map? Quick look, though. Unfortunately, we got a big fight at hand, and LEVIATAN is going to be cut down. Socio Legend last alive. Is able to trade out a couple, or at least one. Unfortunately, he's got to run for his life because he knows the Saniva operator's grapple is about to hit him in the leg and drag him into his death. So play patient, but also you got to know when to run away when you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah, Saniva just so powered on this map. Good to see the players really utilizing all the opportunities the operators can provide to them. Oh, but yeah, Socio definitely going to try and keep himself just out of reach, as we do see Not slowly trying to advance forward. Did send out the grapple, unfortunately not finding anything, but instead it is going to be that Sonic paralysis coming through from Shepard. Oh, the entry getting pushed as Evil Genius is now trying to take down the side there of W Key Forever.
Again, anytime you see any significant investment on Tide Prison, you know that team's going to play aggressive. I would call using Luna as a significant investment. Evil Geniuses want to get active, they want to find players, and they want to use Luna's kit to give them an advantage in some of these fights. Great job thus far, still pushing that advantage. Evil Geniuses, they've got W Key Forever on their heels, and FX is in the area as well. Look at Marino. He's going to try to pinch here from the backside and steal away a couple kills from Evil Geniuses, but he's got to go quick. Muo is picking up some kills inside. They call him Moo Moo, Mr. Cow, for a reason, my man. He is sending these people back to the fields. Holy cow, they are getting obliterated. W Key Forever is gone, and so goes two members of FX. All of them gone. I'm about to cry. That was so beautiful. Are you kidding me?
Wow. I mean, just on the money on this push here. Evil Geniuses, they've got so many surprises in their bags. I mean, Loco, though, this might be short-lived if he's not able to get the team up and out of harm's way. As you can see, Socio is going to be moving through. Can hear that revive happening in the distance. But Socio Legend now just trying to become one with the chair here. Mumu just putting down a little bit of cover. But a good play either which way. I mean, both these teams, they've just been cooking it up today. But up comes LEVIATAN. Ooh, gonna try and play the surprise angle. Will he get it though? I mean, Evil Genius is the full team back on their feet.
Socio Legend is a legend in the scene. This is a very strong individual player who finds his way to plenty of our stat sheets near the top of them. To 1v3 Evil Geniuses would be a miracle, it feels like, at this point. Especially now that they've got a beat on where he's at. Articuno takes a bit of damage. But yeah, it felt like his only opportunity was to just full send while they were going for reses. Because it was actually Raven that was making Evil Geniuses think twice about it. But a double chow here. Socio is able to knock one, but immediately there for the trade. Evil Geniuses, they move together as a unit. They play trades near perfectly. And unfortunately for Socio Legend, he's not going to get anything just for a knock.
We go water, we go water. We don't have time, we have water.
We got a minute.
Yeah, we're fine.
Gotta loot and go. For 1 minute exactly. Yeah, I couldn't focus on that kill move, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Okay.
Quick listen in. One, I always love anytime we listen into this team, or any team for that matter, and we know they've just wiped the last team in the lobby, and there's still a sense of urgency, right? They don't have all the info, and they're making sure that they get out of this map if they can. So a great shout there from Evil Geniuses. But secondly, some funny moments there as they wrap up the lobby and get out via the water. So great job to make sure they get all the loot that they can. Got to get that goop and then get out.
Yep, it's absolutely important, right? The group really goes a long way, and that is going to be Evil Geniuses now, just literally with seconds left on the clock for that extraction, as they're just time. 3 minutes left on the big old clock as we punch out, and that is a big old wrap as the evil geniuses walk away with a decent chunk of change, 7.8 million in profits, and that is going to help set them up beautifully moving into round number 4.
Evil Geniuses, man, they just look unstoppable to me. Again, they're the top of the leaderboard in the group standings. They find themselves above SSG. And other than that, I don't know who's contesting him. They have like 24 more kills, not including today's games. They have 24 more kills than the second highest fragging team in the entirety of the group stages. This is an unbelievably strong team, and they continue to prove why. Look at this, 9 kills on the map. They invest Luna, and they get paid doing it. Great job from Articuno making that call. 7.9 mil, 9 kills in an extraction on Tide Prison. It doesn't get much better than that on an eco round.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be smiling, they're going to be happy, and especially feeling super set up moving into the next round. And I mean, I did say that at the start of the day, right? I'm expecting Evil Geniuses to kind of try and make sure that they can't get caught. And this kind of pacing could really help solidify that eventuality. Looking at the top killers here, Muamua and of course then Loco bringing in quite a bit of work for the team. Looking at the damage overall, a lot of action, and no surprise to see Social Legend sitting right up there alongside them.
Yeah, I agree. Leviathan still had an okay map, certainly, but Evil Genius is the best by a mile. You can see Articuno's picking up a couple assists, but also the assets really important. Loco, Articuno, plenty of assets there. Mr. Dio got actually finding his way to this leaderboard because FaZe found so many reds they just shoved it in their safe box, and it was that server 1.3 mil that they pulled a little bit earlier that probably put him there. But Loco, MVP for a reason, 4 kills and an assist and a little bit of damage, sure, but 2.6 mil on top. Literally did it all. Evil Geniuses, great job from them. They're going to put themselves above the rest moving into our next Mantle Brick round. Folks, you see it down below. Drop a follow on all major socials here with Delta Force. Drop a follow on the eSports socials as well. We are live literally all over the place. So if you're watching us, drop a follow, like, subscribe wherever you're watching, and enjoy the Delta Force Rise series because we are wrapping it up next week. Look, this championship Sunday is going to be unreal. So much money on the line. We still got to get there, though. Last eco round wrap. DK, we've got more Mantle Brick rounds. Who knows? FaZe could close it out in 4. You're not going to want to miss it after the short break.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor. 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little solo. Hang on a second, NL. Look at that. It's an absolute sweat. And LG's got to know that they're here. Lines them up, even through the shot. You're nuts. For the last remaining 3 VOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Helm's going to be hopping off that.
Meu nome é Marino, eu faço o ataque do time e o entry frag. Eu conheci o jogo na beta, eu tava buscando algum jogo parecido com Battlefield, né? E eu conheci ele pelo Guerra, porém conheci o modo extração, gostei muito do extração e cá estou. O Delta Force eu conheci ele através de um amigo, ele me indicou o jogo, falou que era um jogo muito bom, iria ser lançado ainda, no caso ele era beta, e assim que eu entrei no jogo, eu basicamente me apaixonei por ele. O jogo é muito bom mesmo. Meus colegas de equipe são o Tamioso, ele também faz o ataque do time, e nós temos como suporte o Japex e o HF95. Desde que nós começamos a jogar junto e nós tivemos a experiência do Mundial na China, nós viemos participando de algumas screens que tem no NA, e a gente encaixa a nossa rotina de trabalho com as screens, e a gente vem evoluindo dessa forma. A gente procura agora evoluir mais rápido, a gente pretende estender os nossos treinos e vai dar tudo certo. A nossa equipe, a gente costuma jogar com leveza. Então a gente sabe do estresse competitivo, a gente sabe da rotina. É uma rotina pesada de treinos que a gente tem que fazer, querendo ou não, um pouco estressante, mas a gente tenta levar de uma forma leve. E acho que a nossa diferença é essa: a gente entra para jogar da forma mais leve possível e com alegria. Ah, com certeza é nos clutches. Clutch é o momento que deixa qualquer um tenso, não tem que faça. Morreu 2 do time, tem que fazer, tá com a responsabilidade na mão. É o momento que deixa com o coração batendo firme ali, é o teste cardíaco. Eu tenho certeza que nós vamos ficar em primeiro lugar, porque a gente vem batalhando para isso e, se Deus quiser, vai dar tudo certo.
Mandlebrick decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first Mandlebrick of the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Very much though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. Much damage, and there it is.
Welcome back to the Delta Force Rise series, folks. We just wrapped up our last eco round, and my goodness, Evil Geniuses just picked up a ton of economy on that one. 9 kills and a ton of loot. They all get out. They're going to be the team at the top, except for the fact that FaZe has a Mandlebrick. As we move into our first Mandlebrick round, DK, I am pumped to take a look at this leaderboard.
Yes, sir. We're going to hop into it very, very soon indeed. In fact, actually, we're going to do it right now. It is going to be FaZe Clan still holding on to that pole position because they got the Mandlebrick, but Evil Geniuses now posing a major threat here to FaZe, as they've got 26 squad points in total just after the first 3 rounds that we've witnessed already. And I mean, it just shows why the Evil Geniuses are at least sitting at the top of the rankings, right? They know exactly how to work it all out to make sure that they can get into such a contentious position.
Whew, yeah, this is a meteoric jump here, and of course, that's exactly what happens anytime a team gets 9 kills on a map, right? 9 kill points, plus the fact they picked up a bunch of supply points and all the cash they got from that. Yeah, that's a great day in the office for those guys. So great job. They're going to put themselves in a great position to play for this brick here. You know Evil Geniuses plays for objectives. Again, as a reminder, if you haven't been paying attention, they are the team at the top of the group standings overall. They put up a 10-point banger here. It is worth mentioning, if Evil Geniuses somehow can double brick, if they can get brick at 4 and then brick any other time and win today's competition, they will win the entirety of the group stages, because they are a point ahead of Spacestation Gaming, who would also have to max out at 10 and still be behind. So fun conversations we'll get into later. Let's talk about Space City though. Let's talk about operator comps, DK.
Well, moving up into, of course, we are going to be seeing Tempest being predominantly played by a lot of the teams. But of course, a few of the squads that are anticipating a slightly longer day are going to hold off with those initial Tempests, and we could see a completely different setup. Of course, maybe a little bit more of an engineer-heavy play, but in general, we do see Tempest coming out. We could have a little bit of that Luna play as well, and then we could be looking to see whatever else they want to add on top of that, right? We could see Raptor, we could see Stinger coming through. I mean, there's a big selection of what these teams could look to do. We could even see D-Wolf being utilized as well, but predominantly Tempest is going to be the main choice.
Yeah, Tempest is going to be an important choice for certain. There's some teams that may elect to save it, not thinking that it could close out here, not believing that FaZe is the one that's going to get the brick, want to save it for 5 and 6. You basically have 3 maps. Nobody used Tempest on Brakkesh, so you basically have 3 maps to choose to use a Tempest at least 2 times. It's just a matter of when. Most teams will use it on round 4 and then pick between 5 and 6. So just something to keep an eye out for. Of course, we have to talk about spawns, namely because MW and WK Forever picked up the tier 1 spawns in Tide Prison, which means they can't get the tier 1 spawns here in Space City. But if you all watched yesterday, you know the tier 1 spawns are nice. Unfortunately, they are the most deadly as well. They come with inherent risk of getting shot in the back, in the side, a ton of utility landing your head at Westgate, or getting shot in transition coming across employee passage too. So you better be quick and you better be able to dodge things. But folks at home, it's now your time to be quick as well. Get your typing fingers ready. We've got one more code coming your way. Type it in right now as fast as humanly possible. 1,000 Delta tickets. You can redeem this code on your screen, in-game or at the official website. There's not very many redemptions, 15 to be in fact, so you've got to type it in extremely fast. 1,000 Delta tickets could be yours if you are fast enough on the website. Only 15 total people will earn that. Hopefully you can earn yours today, and if not today, then hopefully a bit later. One more giveaway happening at the end of the show today if you want to stick around for that. Glad we're able to get some Delta tickets in your hand. Let's get into Space City though. DK, take it away.
Right as you say that, I start choking. That's fun. Well, hopefully the teams won't be choking like I just did. It's going to be a great opportunity and start here for FaZe as well as FX. And this is quite interesting because both round 1 and 3, 2 and 4, the exact same teams got their hands on that T1 spawn every single time. So very interesting to see that happen. But now it's going to be MW trying to apply a little bit of pressure, heading over on towards the side there of FaZe. Whether or not FaZe can actually get through. So far the answer is yes, but they do have the evil geniuses right ahead of them. So it's going to be a full set, and it just shows you that quick delay over on towards the west gate does slow things down if the team can't get in immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth mentioning Evil Geniuses. They just go flying across Central Command Bridge, which means they're not looking at employee passage, which means both teams get through. Couple things to note. You see a lot of stuff on your screen right now. The one thing I want to shout out is, yes, a couple teams bringing in gold. MW, to be in fact, they're bringing in some gold. I'm seeing a red from Evil Geniuses that they found on the map. We saw that exchange hands on Tide Prison, so that's going to be nice there for Loco. Worth looking at operators, though. Evil Geniuses and FaZe both not bringing in a Tempest. Now, it doesn't stop Evil Geniuses from grabbing the brick first anyway, which is a bit embarrassing that they're able to get away with that. But hey, we'll take it. What's the best operator to go grab the brick? If it's not Tempest, it's going to be another Assault operator. It's going to be D-Wolf, who can move very, very fast, popping that exoskeleton. So basically the same concept. Nobody was ready for it. Evil Geniuses throwing that brick down. They're going to try to kick things off here just outside of Centrifuge, like we'd see most of the time. Now, DK, I think the important thing to remember is that this is kind of a classic strategy if you're a team like FaZe, because they already have a brick, so they can use Tempest in 5 and 6, knowing they can't lose this game. It's a nice advantage. If Evil Geniuses get away with a brick without a Tempest, they're going to have a great advantage for 2 rounds in a row to try to close it out.
Yeah. I mean, and we've seen them do that before, right? So we know that they are more than capable of pulling off a cheeky strategy exactly like that. But of course, it's all going to boil down to what FaZe will have in mind. They, of course, also points on the board. So it is going to be important for them to deny Evil Geniuses from getting this one in the bag. Because once they do, FaZe moves down quite a bit here. Good connection being made, though, from Evil Geniuses as Marino tries to push. But the defenses hold strong.
Yeah, temp assault. So Marino get back on his feet here shortly. Just checking out the temp over there. Apparently the temperature is quite hot, not boiling yet. Pildora from MW is bringing in the Worth mentioning, because likely MW will play some of these longer sight lines. It's looking like they may be wrapping. You can see them on your screen right now. They may be wrapping around the north side of Centrifuge, or Buoyancy Lab rather, sorry, because I guess they're going to want to come in. They could either wrap all the way around to shipping containers, or they may come in underneath, which is maybe a bit surprising if you've got an AWM in hand. Could potentially just wrap around for the ramp side and win an engagement that way. We'll check in with them in a bit and see what's going on. W Key Forever, though, down here on ramp side to play up through Centrifuge. FX in mid-map. And Leviathan going to be the slowest to the party over at Employee Passage 2. Let's see the battle for ramp.
I mean, this is where things get quite important, right? If there's one team that needs to do a lot at this point, it's going to be MW if they want to ensure that they actually get points out of the match here today, to know that they don't have to stress about tomorrow. But in the meantime, it is going to be Articuno just opening up the can here as W Key Forever right on the front line, and a quick sweep coming through from the duo.
Listen. The death ball strategy is a risky one, but when you get the first blood, all hell breaks loose. Evil geniuses get really aggressive, but more action on main at the same time. MW elect to go low side, and they run into a fully ready FaZe. Now, FaZe catches a nice bullet to the face, and actually, Pildora's able to knock down a second as well. What turned catastrophic for MW, they've made it into a 1v1. MW 1, FaZe 1. Evil Genius is still in complete control of the mantle brick and the decoding station with 60 seconds on the clock. Leviathan showing up and going, what in the world happened here? There's carnage everywhere.
There's bodies and boxes lying all over the place. So let's see whether or not Sidoka is going to be able to survive the push here. But I love the aggression coming through, and the efficiency here from Articuno just on point as Marino gets absolutely denied. FX now trying relentlessly to get the recovery, but unfortunately, Evil Geniuses, they are not going to try and let this one slide.
To be totally frank with you, I think this is best case scenario for Evil Geniuses. Some in their control, some out of their control. They were able to just full tilt, full send, death ball, all three together down ramp, win the ramp, and know there's not a team going to be there with W Key Forever out. And then teams were fighting in Buoyancy. They're able to push back a potential push from FX by taking one down from distance. Evil Geniuses get this brick not quite for free because they had to take a fight, but it feels like it for free because nobody touched it. A clean brick for them without a Tempest is bad news for the rest of this lobby. I am smelling a map 5 victory for Evil Geniuses the way they're playing right now. And at this point, they're looking for an extra $50 for every kill that's left on the map. They're going to get aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, this plays right into their strategy, right? We've seen them do exactly this in prior days as well. So no surprise really for that to be happening here. But Pildora with a very sneaky approach is going to be spotted by Eclipse. Oh, the hits are in and down he goes. Leviathan able to wrap that one up as a W Key Forever have the match stopped right for them over there, or at least the round getting abruptly brought to an end. But FX and EG, here they go.
They actually stick that res even through the triple blaster from EG and are able to back up. So good wherewithal there from FX to just go for it, tank some of the util, and still get their bodies up and heal back up. So it's going to be a true 3v3, but Evil Geniuses are not moving slow. I think that's the understatement of a century. They want to play aggressive here. Articuno is investing their second Luna as well, so they'll be out of Lunas for the next 2 rounds. Likely we're going to be looking for some different recon operators to join the comp going into their Tempest rounds now that they have a mantle brick. They're also well above and beyond 2x anybody else's squad points. It's Evil Geniuses world and we're living in it right now, but I'm very curious to see who's going to be last on the map.
Yeah, they might have this one in the bag, but let's see. Leviathan still in a position to get themselves set up, especially seeing that we are going to be going up into round number 5. This could be their opportunity. Evil Geniuses, though, doing a little bit of due diligence as they move up towards the north, heading into Employee Passage, potentially. They've completely rotated all around. Meanwhile, FX in hot pursuit, they've caught a little bit of wind. Now they're going to try and see if they can full send it through. Meanwhile, Leviathan and FaZe still pretty much locked in on each other, but Marino has been brought back into the fight, and the quick takedown coming through on FX yet again.
Yeah, this is brutal. Nice find there from Marino to get one. Unfortunately, I wonder if maybe grabbing that one and backing off the fight, he couldn't quite spray down 2 there. Would have been a bit better. Going for the res, Marino will get fulled. FX at 1, and they hear the second about to get picked back up. So Loco's going to invest some util here. And through the smoke, gets a couple tags, and teammate doing a lot of the same. Articuno finds another, and actually gets picked up. And going to have to get active as Leviathan going to join the fight third party. But Articuno and Loco are going nuclear right now. Even with Leviathan third partying that, in the middle of an engagement with a different team, they're able to turn, burn, and cut down one member of Leviathan. Evil Geniuses, I'm telling you, are moving different today. I don't know that an unstoppable force could stop this team.
Yeah, I mean, they are looking absolutely rock solid at this point there. It's going to be very difficult to bring them to their knees. And, I mean, just looking at the aggression they're showing here, absolutely relentless as Articuno comes through with a few Lunar Bombs heading up the side. Eclipse is going to be keeping a very tight angle as EG closes the door on them, giving themselves a little bit of a breather here. Door, of course, getting swung wide open yet again, as Leviathan is going to be looking to predominantly focus on that, but we do see the AWM in hand, so whomever's going to be peeking around that corner needs to be very, very careful.
Unless they split up ammo, it only looks like they have 1 shot though, so only going to take it if they're 100% going to hit it. 3v3v1. Sudoka is just chilling on the side of Buoyancy, probably going to run around the map and loot up best he can. Teammates can't get back up into this lobby, so going to have to play as a solo. 2 teams of 3 maybe coming in and grabbing a kill away would be nice. You could see him creep this way. For now, a true 3v3. Let's see who gets the better of their opponents as Articuno gets some intel for his team. The teammates are on the opposite side. Maybe a pinch, but maybe a flank. Look at the minimap very quickly. There is one behind. It was a Tempest, Socio Legend, maybe trying to make a play, but thinks better of it. They read him. Great job from Muo and Loco to look back, scare him off. Tempest ult does nothing. It's on cooldown. Oh, no.
Ooh. Well, also getting caught out in exactly the same way that Ledge absolutely dead. But now it's going to be Leviathan. Ooh, trying to go the Dismon, but Articuno quickly shutting that one down. Not able to recover enough health. It is going to be Widow sending forward, but ooh, will he survive the push as Loco rushes forward, trying to save the day, but absolute brutality from both sides.
Yeah, frankly, it's maybe the first mistake I've seen from Evil Geniuses there. Loco wasn't able to get around the corner in time to trade with Articuno. Articuno ran out of bullets, was reloading. A great chow there from Widows, was able to take down Articuno. And Loco couldn't swing around to take him out. So with that, it's going to be a 1v1. Loco either baiting out or going for the res. Either works. But look who's here. I told you a third party. Now Sudoka playing very timid, not knowing how many people are alive inside, is going to creep walk down. Loco sticking this res means Widow has to make a choice. Do I also res and be delayed, or do I go for the chow? A cat and mouse game. It's a bait. Here's the footsteps. Going to back off. Yellow timer takes a while. Widow's going to do a lot of the same. Let's see what Loco does in response. Going for it. Oh my goodness. A much faster response from Loco there. Leviathan down.
Wow. I mean, I guess there's a reason why Loco is sitting atop the kill board, right? Dude's just a menace. He is just working everybody when it comes to these hits. But of course, we still have a solo on the map here, as Loco is going to try and change the odds back in his favor. Going to his teammates, looking to kind of bring them back into the fight here. But Sudoku definitely has an opportunity here to play for a little bit of something. Could maybe still secure at least 1 kill, but time is going to be ticking up here, and there's not a lot of opportunities left for him to try and maybe change that through.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news. He's moving much too slow. Now, he doesn't have the intel we do. I know we get very critical sometimes on broadcast, and I have no right. These players are all way better than me. You check my combat record, it's nothing close to what these guys are able to accomplish. But with the info we have, we can tell this is the wrong move. Sudoku's moving way too slow. He's playing way too timid. They already have a brick, and the brick is gone from this map. just go for it. You needed to go play for those kills while the two teams were engaging. It's way too late. You just let an entire team of 3 get back onto their feet when there was only a solo left who was reloading after taking a fight by himself. I know Loco's scary. He's not that scary. You've got to go for that play. Now too late. It's just going to be a matter of time before either you get sniffed out or maybe, just maybe, you route a corner and are able to get that one that you needed. It would have been nice, though, if he would have come in, cleaned house, taken Loco down, even maybe after LEVIATAN was gone, been last alive for his team, could have at least looted up and still had time to get out. But now, he's just hoping and praying for a kill.
Yeah, I mean, a missed opportunity indeed. So let's see what is going to be happening for them here. EG, though, all the way up to 43 points. And, I mean, that's scary. They are only 8 points away from the 51 that we saw come in yesterday. So some pretty groundbreaking points being put up here by our teams. But of course, the next round could be the big decider. Could be the one to end the day and close it all down as the final switch is now pulled. And this is going to be 4-minute countdown that starts as the focus is put on the extraction. And there's going to be just at how many seconds gap is that? It's 3 seconds gap between the end of this round and that extraction countdown.
It's the second time in a row we've seen this happen where a team, technically they haven't wiped the map, but they may think they have because Sudoku's playing so slow. And you're going to keep getting arrows. That's the other problem, is that you let Articuno get stood back up and he's got arrows for you. So if you move anywhere near them, you're probably going to get scanned because he's no reason not to just spam that utility. May get lucky here, though. And a great job. Again, great wherewithal to know when they need to pull levers to make sure they get out via the extraction. So we'll see. Evil Geniuses likely get out. And did he just scan them? Okay, well, they know he's here. They know now they are not alone. Like a scene from Aliens or something. We are not alone. There is somebody inside.
And the hunt begins. This is where we switch over into documentary mode as Evil Geniuses are going to be on the hunt, looking for a rogue Sudoku, just prowling the hallways, trying to stay hidden, but he has been spotted, and now it is going to be full send as Evil Geniuses come in. Loco just making it look so effortless, just comes in, just lays the guy down. And with that, they are granted even more points as they now have a multitude of kills in their bag.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said before, don't need to beat a dead horse. FaZe is out. They do have a mantle break. They're still in a great position on leaderboard, but Sudoku was just way too timid in that engagement. Needed to go earlier. It was much too late. You weren't going to win against a full team of 3. Look at that Om, too, that they've got. So feeling very juiced up right now in loot value. And they still got another 2 minutes or so to loot all these boxes, grab all those dog tags that are now like 150k a piece. One slaughters. Anything they can fit in their bag. Any armor they can take out. I mean, they dropped, oh my, that's 12 kills and a brick? Yeah, this is me right now. Just staring at Space City going, what is going on? Evil Geniuses world, and we are living in it indeed.
Yeah, I mean, that's 4 squads that they took down, right? Absolute insanity. So they took down more than half the lobby. Insane. And of course, they still have time left as they could find even more loot. As you can see, Momoa going about it here, trying to find that extra little bit of value. Already they're up to 9.5 mil, right? They just need 500k more, and that will get them up to 10k. So that's 12 points coming through from the kills. At least 5 points coming through from the value that they get extracted from here. So that is 17 potential points going their way if they can hit 10 million.
Yeah, I mean, this is about as big as it gets. And I think we said this last week with Nightmare. So we'll have to compare the games and see truly which one gave more points. Evil Geniuses. Let's listen in as they wrap up this map.
Ego that res? No.
Dude, the moment, it's funny because the moment I killed the FX guy on test, and we're like, oh, it's over. That guy was staring at CC Bridge, bro.
Ball.
He was in the middle of the open, just looking at CC Bridge. I killed him for free. We just farmed so many.
I love the in-game comms, man. Listen, these guys certainly earned to laugh about the opponents for now. We'll see if they'll be laughing in the next map. There's some great opponents out there. Today was not their day, though, or at least that map, not their map. Evil Geniuses on top by a country, not even a country mile. What's bigger than a country mile? An aerial mile, a nautical mile? I don't know how distances work, but Evil Geniuses are on top regardless.
Yeah. They win this one by a lot of something, right? Because I don't know what they just did, but it is going to be working out quite well here for them. And what a performance, right? This is the play that you see from the team sitting at the top of the rankings. It just shows you why they are in that position, because they know exactly how to do it. 12 kills, 2,900 damage, and almost hitting 10 million in assets. So that is at least going to be 16 points just from this round going to them.
You want to hear some fun facts with Goj? I've got some math on my side. Check this out. Evil Geniuses, they pick up 9.6 million in loot value like you talked about. It's going to go towards their supply points. 12 kills is another 9.6 million from kills alone. That is 19.2 million in cash that they just took out of this map. Ridiculous stat lines. They're going to be the top of every single one of these leaderboards. Look at them in the top Slayer category. All three finding their way to the top because they utterly dominated this lobby. Cackling to myself at 4 a.m. over here because Evil Geniuses are putting on a show for us, DK.
And what a show it has been. We do see clips there from LEVIATAN stepping up as one of our top assisters here as well, bringing in those two for his team. So a very respectable play overall, but the asset owners, no surprise, still going to be Evil Geniuses, as they were the only team to really get all the loot from everybody else. So yeah, I mean, 3.8 mil, that is a hefty and heavy bag. No surprise to see Loco be our MVP as well to boot. 6 kills, 1 assist, 1,200 damage, and a big fat bag going his way.
That's exactly right. This guy's on top of our individual slaying leaderboard for today, as well as overall through the group stages. Evil Genius is dominating, but we're just getting started, it feels like, with Mantle Brick rounds. We're going to go back to Space City in a moment and see if maybe FaZe can clutch up and grab a brick here and maybe win it all. Even though Evil Geniuses is dominating, Mantle Bricks are everything. And folks, maybe you think you could have played that map a bit better. I know we're being critical up here. Chat certainly likes to be critical as well, but it's your time to prove it. Do you want to join us in season 2 of the Delta Force Rise series? Here's your chance. Join our open registration on August 10th. That's when everything kicks off. That's when the registration kicks off. You'll see qualifiers info after that. You can stay up to date on all info for season 2 of the Delta Force Rise series by dropping a follow on all major socials, including those eSports accounts. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Delta Force ecosystem, and Delta Force Rise series is coming back for season 2 to wrap up this year. You're not going to want to miss it. Folks, we're going to take a very short break. When we come back, Space City could be the last map.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little... So hang on a second, NL! Look at that, it's an absolute sweat! This... And Illich has got him, they're here, lines them up, even through the shot, you're nuts! For the last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks, the Helm's gonna be hopping off to that.
got the Mandel Brick. Find it. Stop them. Mandel Brick decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around comes around.
Not gonna do very much though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
That's so much damage in there it is.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise series. We've got two teams with the Mandel Brick, which sounds like classic Delta Force Rise series, but the problem is Evil Geniuses just dropped maybe the biggest map I've ever seen in my life. 12 kills, extracted with 9.6 million in assets, and they got the Mandel Brick. And they did all of that without using their Tempest. The next two maps, if we play two, you're going to see Evil Geniuses have a Tempest on the map, which just gives you that little extra edge with their ult to be able to run around the corner. And even if you take some shots to the face and get knocked, you always get back to safety. So watch out for Evil Geniuses. They're going to be at the top of the leaderboard by a mile, but in second will still be FaZe, who got their Mandel Brick back on Brakkesh. But yeah, this tells the story, DK.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does tell a story, right? Evil Geniuses, they have just been cooking up an absolute storm, sitting on a glorious 26 skill points and 22 supply points. 12 of those kills we saw coming in from the last round alone. But I mean, this doesn't mean it's the end of the road for FaZe, right? If they get the brick in this round, they win. That's it. That's how it works. So there's a lot of pressure on both these teams to see, can they close up the day right here, right now? And it's all going to boil down to their operator picks, right? We are going to be seeing potentially a lot more of the Tempest coming out onto the field, getting ready to steal that Mandel Brick.
Yeah, and you know what? You bring up a great point. As we take a look at the operator choices, we know what we're going to see. We're going to see some Lunas, we're going to see some Tempests, we're going to see some Stingers or Toxics, etc. You do know that Evil Geniuses won't use Luna because they've already used it twice, but will be using Tempest. And you can see our T1 spawns as well and kind of try to play the prediction game of who goes where. But you actually bring up a great point, because I think when you look towards this map and you look at how dominant Evil Geniuses has been, it doesn't mean they're gonna win. And that's the beauty of the double Mandel Brick format right now. Any team could technically still win. Any team could go back to back and double brick and potentially win even over FaZe, right? Who already has a Mandel Brick. Or, like you said, FaZe could just get this brick right here. They could have 4 points and still win today's match and get 10 points. That's the beauty of this format. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, well, let's see how it pans out. It is going to be go time. We're heading straight into it right now. It is going to be MW, though, getting one of those T1 spawns alongside the Evil Geniuses. And we've seen what Evil Geniuses can do if they don't get a T1 spawn. Now they have one. It is going to be WKF trying to apply a little bit of pressure on EG as they push over the employee passage. NW, though, getting that western gate for free as they move on forward, and it is going to be a full send up into the center. Just over 20 seconds left on the clock until Mandel Brick comes into play. But who's going to be the one to walk away with it? Well, we'll find out soon.
Yeah, it was actually a quick look at Evil Geniuses. One of the players, I didn't see which it was, we got extremely low. I think like 1 HP coming across employee patches, and that is the danger of those T1 spawns. Yes, it gets you there close and quickly, but frankly, from what I'm seeing, I like the Central Command bridge. If you're not getting shot at, Central Command might be the fastest path to center map, as we see LEVIATAN actually first to the Mandel Brick, or putting themselves in the best position to play for the Mandel Brick. They go over and take control of Centrifuge. This is exactly what Evil Geniuses did last time without this Tempest. LEVIATAN going to try to do the same with the Tempest. This is what LEVIATAN did yesterday when they were able to find their Mandel Brick. So watch out for that play. It's classic, and unfortunately, watch out to the wrong end of the barrel of FaZe, who have actually found WKF, who are in deep blender as one goes down from distance, one a bit closer, the other stuck between a rock and a hard place. Somehow WKF are dead, but Evil Geniuses are joining this fight, and they've knocked one member of FaZe.
Wow, I mean, the teams are just absolutely aggressing onto each other, but it's still not over just yet, right? Evil Geniuses now could be coming in for a little bit of a third-party play. As you can see, Articuno rushing up to the bridge. He heard the shots, got a little bit curious, but is the curiosity going to be satisfied? Meanwhile, MW also trying to make a little bit of something happen here. Oh, Pildora tries to get the shot, but unfortunately too slow with the reaction. Instead, gets put right on down. And this is going to be just a quick capitalization coming through as the teams start to rush on forward, and Loud is going to be the last one there for his team.
Again, I'm really liking this kind of new age FX that are playing much more aggressive. You traditionally would see them move up to Central Command, root up for a while, show up super late, but instead they come in, they clean up a couple players all around Buoyancy, MW on the run, a solo left, and Rapid had already gone down, so he's actually out of the game. So Pildora on yellow, Loud running for his life. MW not going to be a threat on this map for the most part. Well, in the meantime, all that chaos has been going on. Guess what? Leviathan, I thought maybe they could come play for the brick and have a great position at Centrifuge. Evil Geniuses grab it, and they run far, far away. Over to Test Workshop we go. They're the only team in the area, and they're going to hold here for a while before anybody moves to react.
I mean, it's not a bad choice coming through from Evil Geniuses. We've actually seen them get a successful extraction on that far southern side. So, again, right, playing to their strengths, making sure that they go for the extraction points, that they know they are super comfortable. They know exactly which angles to keep an eye on. And they are going to be opting for that wide split, as they know the only way for the teams to get to them is through funneling in. A beautiful bit of a bottleneck that they can now look to capitalize upon. But it does seem like the rest of the lobby pretty much focused in on each other. The only team heading up in this direction is going to be FX, though. You can see them kind of wrapping along rather the outside of the map. FaZe, though, still trying to figure out exactly what their approach is going to be, whether or not they could potentially contest that decoding. But Moomer and the rest of the Evil Geniuses, they are just going to try and bully the lobby from this point.
Yeah, and I think for FaZe, reminder, they lost a player earlier, so they're just getting everybody back onto their feet. They're recouping. They're making sure everything's repaired. They're, trying to get some intel before they leave assembly and that water tank station, and then they'll move this direction, I hope. Once they pinch in, potentially at the same time as FX likely moving quite a bit faster, you could see Leviathan pinch through mid as well. So a 3-team battle is going to be tough for Evil Geniuses to actually hold from bridge. So they'll likely have to pop back. And no, I agree with you as well. I really like this play. It was the right play 100%. They actually cleared out this south side to make this play. That's why they went and played for FaZe. They then earned Test Workshop because they came through a Ploy Passage too. They came from the north. They win the south side, and then they play for this brick location. They knew they couldn't get Centrifuge in time, so a great job right from Evil Geniuses to find their advantages where they can. Loud on the run, but FX slowly closing in on the brick. So we'll have to check in on that while Leviathan continues to bide their time in mid-map, and it looks like they've spotted each other.
Yeah, to be go time as Loco sends off a few warning shots. Fortunately, that zip line could really help her pressure quite a few things here. As you can see, Evil Genius is trying everything available to them, but an absolute bombardment descends down onto Loco, and that's the opening, exactly like FX were hoping to get. Marino, though, unfortunately, is going to get dropped down near instantly. Up comes the rest of the defensive angle. Muamua also getting picked up, but it now turns to Articuno. A beautiful showing of aggression coming through here from FX.
I thought Mumu was going to be able to hold that. That was unbelievable tracking as they're coming across the zip from distance. And he was able to get one, but I think made a bit of a mistake. Either ran out of ammo, went for a reload out in the open or otherwise, but should be able to stick the res here. So not total desperation yet for Evil Geniuses. The bad news for this lobby is that, funny enough, again, New Age FX, they're the only team playing aggressive. One pushes up. Articuno, again, he got the res and he's able to trade one out. but they're still taking a ton of damage, and FX is not relenting with Tamiyozo. He's gonna mantle though, a mistake. He's gotta be so frustrated about that mantle, and Articuno just chows, and you see him screaming into the camera. You're gonna let that happen.
Oh my God,
Listen in really quick.
Shit. No idea what just happened. Good job. I stood up, I walked up, by the way, and I got hit by every piece of util at once.
The team under bridge.
10 seconds, that's it. A little bit of BM, a little bit of trash talk, a little bit unlucky for FX. The mantle comes through, but Evil Geniuses. Articuno wins the gunfight. He knocks them all down, and nobody can get to the brick in time. Talk about a filibuster of a play. My goodness, just wasting everybody's time by running all the way down to Test Workshop. Nobody moves fast enough. This match is over.
Yes, sir. Evil Geniuses with a big brain play. Lock in the 200 IQ strategy to fix up the day for themselves. Absolutely amazing, amazing plays here. 54 points currently on the board. Can they bag it and get away with it as well? That is going to be the main ask, because if they can, if they extract, this would have been the highest score that we've seen so far in the Rise series. So there's a lot at stake here for Evil Geniuses. But as you said it already, Goj, I mean, they've won the day.
Yeah, I mean, so much we can talk about. There's still 10 minutes on the map, and Loco still finding kills as Leviathan loses 1. So I don't want to get too deep in the weeds because there's a lot we could talk about. Let's get locked in with Socio Legend, who's finally able to find his kill. He's been waiting for this one for a while. I'm surprised he's not even shooting bodies just to add extra insult to injury. Probably because Loco from the top row is going to WWE slam him on the forehead. But nice, an answer back from Leviathan. Eclipse able to put it to a 1v1, but on the run as Mumu is still alive down on the low side, going to zip up and hunt his prey.
Well, it is getting pretty close here. Eclipse now just waiting for Mumu. Oh! Slam dunk, dude. Here we go. Moo just closing that one up, making it look almost effortless, right? Just so quick with the response around that corner. Takes him down, but now has the big task of bringing the team back on their feet, right? But unfortunately, Evil Geniuses, they are only going to be a 2-piece, and the only team left in the lobby is going to be FaZe to contest EG. I mean, FaZe, they've just been holding up over towards Assembly for the longest time, and now that everybody else is dead, they wake up and look to rush on forward.
I mean, that was disgusting. I mean, I respect the chow from Leviathan. These guys are friends. They know each other. That was nuts. Evil Geniuses run away with this one. And yeah, you know, there's some minutia we can talk about here because 8.5 minutes and FaZe is nowhere to be seen. So let's take a look back on the replays before we get into it. Here's the Loco choke slam from the top ropes. And after getting one, loses the engagement there, but Muo comes in for the trade and then just snaps across. Man, that dude shoots straight. Really fun to see that on replay yet again. There's a ton of great highlights, actually, from this match. Most of them are Evil Geniuses, but still a very fun one to watch. And here's FaZe, actually. Diogod finding a great snipe across the bow with the A quick reaction, though. Muma's going to get that body, put it behind cover. So Diogod is going to try to do it all himself. In hand, but also running Tempest. Just going to ult and rush him.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here. Is Diogod unfortunately not going to get anything out of that one. We're just waiting patiently. FaZe is going to be full sending it now. I mean, they're going to be looking to bag some points, and they do indeed. As that is a wrap here for us. But FaZe now have 7 minutes to loot it up and increase their score, right? They've got all the kills that they could find, which is not bad. They do have 5. But how much loot can they gather in the next few moments? And of course, are they going to be able to extract? That is going to be the big question. Most likely, yes.
Yeah, should have plenty of time. Now is the time to talk about all the data, okay? Let's have a little DK Goj podcast while FaZe clean up the rest of this lobby by looting and extracting and all of that. We already know the placements. It's basically on your screen. There's some math that could happen maybe between FX and WKF, but other than that, it's in order on screen. There's no way FaZe can do anything at this point because Evil Geniuses have 2 bricks, and they also can't lose to any of the other teams because they're the only other team with a brick. So let's talk stats. 1, Evil Geniuses have not only won this match, but they have also won everything. Before I get there, let's look at some cool replays. I love it. These fights are so much more important than my data. Articuno, again, I think FX got unlucky there. Went for a mantle when he could have played for the gunfight, but then that shot right there was straight as can be in all headshots, and Articuno laughing and excited about that one because he knew it secured them the brick. If they got wiped there, that means that timer pauses. All right, DK stats. EG, Evil Geniuses, they've won today. What that means, they're ahead of Spacestation Gaming on our group stage leaderboard. That means 10 points today. They have won the group stages. There is not a team out there that can catch Evil Geniuses. Congratulations to Evil Geniuses winning today and winning our group stages. They're going straight to the finals on Sunday next weekend. Here's the other bad news. MW was just barely outside the bottom 2. Them getting last as they get wiped on this map and only have 7 total points. They get last in this lobby. They score 0. This is going to open up a huge window of opportunity for a team like Liquids, a team like BTH, to potentially pass MW by just scoring even a medium amount of points tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they literally just have to have not a bad day.
Yeah.
They don't have to have a great day. I mean, we're not going to say no to a great day. We want a great day, right? But even if they don't, even if they just have an okay day, I'm sorry to say, but it might not be looking too great for MW, right? So MW has to hope that by some miraculous way, Liquids and BTH have a really, really tough day, right? I honestly don't think so, based on how we've seen those two teams play, how we've seen Liquids play yesterday. I don't think it's on the cards, but I think there was a bit of a missed opportunity coming through for the side of MW. I mean, and like, I want to say though that they did try. Right? It's not because they didn't try. They were just unfortunate. They just got into the wrong position at the wrong time, and they got severely punished for that. And, you know, my heart goes out to them because the effort was there. Unfortunately, the success following that effort, not so much.
Yeah, and of course on screen we do see FaZe is going to extract pretty much everything you're doing. Doesn't matter too much. There is a couple notes and points on our overall leaderboard in the group stages where there could be some tiebreakers. So FaZe is going to make sure that they get as much loot as possible. The main tiebreaker comes down to kills if everything's all equal, mantle bricks and all of that. But squad points technically do matter, so they do want to maximize here. This isn't all for naught. So they're going to extract here on main. But to go back to that conversation, DK, I like the way you put it, man. This is a tough day for MW. They did try. They actually did play fairly aggressive. I feel like they got pretty unlucky in some of their engagements. Sure, they lost some gunfights that maybe they shouldn't have, but some of their fights were just unfortunate. And with that and getting last and getting 0 points, it's going to put this overall group stage leaderboard in deep contention. They're not out. I know it's all doom and gloom for MW. They are not out. If BTH and Liquids both score extremely low tomorrow, which has been the case throughout the course of all of the group stages, very easily MW could still make it out and make it to the survivor stage next week. Still technically possible, but it's gonna be tough to think that both of those teams playing in the same lobby both score low. So I don't know. I mean, to be very clear, Liquids needs to score less than 3 and BTH needs to score less than 4 to make sure we avoid any tiebreakers, because MW's on a total of 6, so they're in an okay spot. But it's definitely possible either of those two teams could pop off a bit and have an okay day and pass them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of theoreticals that we could really get into with, and so yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, I think this is also a really great opportunity for MW to kind of look back on how the group stage went, and I think it highlights a lot of points for them. You know, it's like, oh, okay, cool, we need to tighten up in this category, we need to tighten up on that. You know, it really highlights things for them to focus on. So I'm really looking forward to seeing MW again right? After the group stages, like looking at how much work they've put into kind of, you know, rectify and fix all these little things, right? Because it's not major issues. Most of it was just down to timing, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And unfortunately, Delta Force works in a way that, you know, if both those things are true, you got a little bit of pain coming your way. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. But also, though, right? You were talking about Evil Geniuses and SSG. If Space Station tomorrow get their hands on a double brick, and they can somehow miraculously make up the necessary amount of points, right? Which I necessarily see, because the most you can get is 10. They could definitely just make sure that they are absolutely locked into place, right? So there's going to be a lot that needs to come through here. As you said it, right? We pretty much know who's going to be sitting at the top of the board, but it's all down to who can bring in the spice behind them. And I'm so excited to see what is going to be coming in our very last day of the group stage. And of course, a good nice little wave coming through from that that auto tank as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big point is, can Space Station Gaming clutch up second, right? If they get their 10, they assuredly get second. There's nobody that can catch them. And they need to at least get second to assure it and hope that one of the teams right behind them on the leaderboard doesn't get first place. So some fun conversations for tomorrow. But for now, we turn our attention back to the main screen because FaZe, they've finally done it. We made it 5 seconds on the extraction. They're going to get out. And again, I'll tip my hat to these guys. They pick up second place. They pick up a brick. They've got to be excited about that. That's 7 points for FaZe. This will jump them up the leaderboard. I know this was an Evil Genius day. I know it wasn't even close. I know they wanted to win, but FaZe were middling. They were a mid-pack team who just picked up 7 points. That's going to push them up the leaderboard fairly dramatically and put them as like a top 5 team throughout the course of the group stages. So if you're FaZe Clan, I think you've got to be really excited about that. This is your last match in the group stages, and you just proved that, hey, you're top 5 in the entirety of the Delta Force Rise series. You're going to feel good going into the final week. So congratulations to them, but of course, even bigger congratulations to the team on your screen. They pick up another 7 kills, they pick up a crazy amount of damage, and of course, they pick up that brick. Evil Geniuses ran away with today. There was nobody even close, and they get the best team in the last map, but they get the best team overall as well.
Yeah, a lot of hard work has gone in for them here, and I think that's the big takeaway, right? It just shows you if you're committed to it and your strategies work, there's not a lot that can stop you. So big shout going out to them, but you also got to give it up to FaZe, as you've said, right? Those 5 kills and the extraction really going to bode quite well for them. So we'll just see how it all comes down to when we get into the points itself. But Mr. Dio God is going to be sitting at the top of the board here for FaZe with those 3 kills in the bag.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of the Evil Geniuses as well in these leaderboards. Nice damage across the board here from Loco, Mumu as well. FX finds their way into it. And big shout out to Marino, FX. They really did push. And again, I can't stop saying this. I love these guys. They play slightly differently than other teams. But in the last 2 matches that they've played, they've gotten much more aggressive. So great job from them. FaZe, they find a ton of assets. I think that's technically actually going to be our... oh, yeah, they all got out at the end. So, yeah, technically, that's like 13 mil in total that we saw as they did get out of the map. Congratulations to them. But Moon is going to be our MVP, finding a couple kills, assists, and damage. I will also lump in just the entire Evil Geniuses squad, of course, but also Articuno did 1v3 FX while his teammates were down. So Boo had great stats. Articuno, MVP maybe in that last round for me, but both of these 2 players, and of course Loco, just all unstoppable. So fun combos here, DK, and I am very excited to get into hopefully an interview with Evil Geniuses. As a reminder for everybody at home, we've had a ton of giveaways going on throughout the course of today, and I will go ahead and tee up another one for you. Yes, giveaways coming your way, ! Giveaway. I've been seeing people type it in the chat all day today, but also your chance to get into the Delta Force Rise series is coming up. Type in ! Giveaway in the chat right now. Enter into the giveaway. There's 1,000 Delta tickets on the line for you entering into this giveaway. All winners will be revealed on this broadcast as well. So if you're on the official live streams, make sure you type !giveaway into the chat to enter, and we'll drop that winner into the chat. But if you're watching this on X, you can also repost that live stream, and the winner will be revealed in the comments. So there you go. That's the giveaway. You type that in, spam it away as you will. You only need to type it once to enter, but hey, you do your thing. We've got our interview ready, though. Articuno, Evil Geniuses, my MVP from the day. Brother, one, it is great to see you, but holy cow, talk to me about that 1v3 to win it all. That was ridiculous.
Oh, we should have lost. I'll be honest. We should have lost. That guy mantling, the second guy mantling, he should have killed me, but the fact that he mantled was able, he gave me the 1v3.
Yeah, well, a quick follow-up, man. Congratulations. One, we talked about this for a while. We had a little podcast because the game was just FaZe running around looting at the very end. But congratulations, because yes, you won today, but you just officially won all of the group stages with the Delta Force Rise series. Spacestation Gaming cannot catch you. How does that feel? Talk to me about this entire 4-week series and what you all just accomplished.
It feels good, but if I had to be completely honest, going into today, we really weren't looking to get first. We knew we were kind of solidifying ourselves as top 2, and that's all that really matters up until this point. So we were kind of looking for a top 3 placement. That's literally all we needed to be mathematically the top 2 guaranteed. And honestly, we weren't even going into this round trying to win. Like, we weren't planning to double brick. If I had to be honest, we were trying to go for kills, kind of stat pad a little bit. Sure. But we had a golden opportunity. The free brick was there to pick it up and place it to ourselves, and we love taking your backpack, so it kind of worked out. And then we still ended up getting kills, so it worked out anyways.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like you had a very, very fruitful day. And I mean, it definitely looks so by the amount of points that you were able to bring onto the board. But this is where I want to ask you, were there any operators, loadouts, or strategies that you think were more effective for you today than you were expecting?
Not necessarily. Going into game 4, we kind of knew it was... It sounds kind of poorly said, but it was kind of a throwaway round. We didn't expect FX to double brick, so we didn't use our typical Tempest comp. We ended up running like a D-Wolf, Luna, and Shepard, I believe. Something kind of we used to throw away. So it kind of worked out. We had positioning for the brick, and then on top of that, we played it really well. It might have seemed absolutely free because no one stole it, but well, we insta-wiped WKF on ramp, and then I got the first kill on the test team, so we kind of knew where all our teams were, and no one was going to contest, so we got to have a lot of fun with that comp specifically. And that comp is meant to have fun with, honestly.
Yeah, I love that question, actually, DK, and the answer, Articuno, because I was about to bring up that full send. We called it a free brick, but also I gave that clarifying fact. No, they were actually pushing up ramp. You heard them coming up ramp, and you guys full deathballed that fight. So I actually want to bring us back to that, because I think that really did set you up for the win overall when you got that brick. Who made that call when you heard them coming up? Who said, hey, everybody together, we're full sending this?
That was 100% Moo, actually. Moo isn't normally the one to call anything. He'll give input, but that was strictly his call. He was like, yo, we should fight this team ramp. No one's going to fight us mid. So I was like, hey, let's do it. And then there was also a running joke when we used to scrim when I was on Luna, that if I was on ramp, no one could push ramp. Obviously, I messed up a few times, but I could hold it on my own for the most part, at least stall well. And I knew the moment I had a nade prepped for them, and it hit 2 of them immediately, and I knew it was over because I caught the first one running away, and I shocked for Mumu, and it was a free 2-piece for him. So it was a really good call by Mumu overall, honestly.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, so pretty sick day. I mean, we've seen some sweaty angles, we've seen some sweaty positions. Now, I think then based on that and based on what we've seen so far from you in the group stage, this next question would probably be very fitting, right? So for any of the players or the operators watching at home trying to improve in their own operations, right? What would you suggest for them? Is there one habit or one mistake that you think they should potentially maybe focus on?
One thing I really noticed with even the teams in the Pro League now, it's the ability to trust your teammates, like really being comfortable in your own shoes and then knowing that they're filling their own shoes to the best of their ability, and just having confidence in them. That truly is what's important in any team dynamic, in any situation, whether it's esports or actual like physical sports. Being confident in your role and then not envying others for your role as well. Like, you know, I'm not the assault character, and I do love playing assault in pubs, but I know Loco's way better than me, so I leave him to do it. And I'm so confident in the two of them. Big shout out to them, honestly. They're so good at the game. I get to really relax and kind of call for them. They're really like my mini soldiers. I call them my hellhounds. I let them just run around and do whatever they like.
Dude, I love your energy, man. It's been a long time coming. I've been watching you play this game for a dang long time, and it's great to see you guys on top. I think it's well earned. I love your comments around your team, because it truly feels like you guys have some of the best chemistry, if not the best chemistry in the game right now. So congratulations again. I want to give you the floor. There's two things I need from you. One, you can say whatever you want. Talk to your fans, your friends. You can hype up your teammates some more. You can talk to the haters. I don't care. Then the second thing to close out this interview, I need you to predict who's getting second. Will Spacestation Gaming hold it? Will somebody else take it from them? Take it away.
All right, well, first off, shout out to the EG family. Thank you guys for always supporting us. They message us immediately after every win or every time we play well. Even when we don't play well, they message us immediately every time. They show so much love. So thank you guys. We really do appreciate the opportunity to represent you guys, and thankfully we're doing it well so far. Hopefully we do well next weekend as well. But shout out to all my friends as well. Thank you to my teammates. I already said thank you to them, but thank you to them. I'm so proud of them, how far we've come along. Shout out to Johnner specifically. He's always in the chat, always ruined EG, spamming my emotes. He's awesome. Thank you, Johnner. I appreciate you. And in terms of the prediction, it's kind of close. I know there's a lot of turmoil right now in terms of the other camps. I think second place, honestly, probably NTMR. They're on a roll right now. I think this game is really momentum based. I know they play tomorrow, and they're on a roll right now. I think they're two wins back to back now, and they beat us. They beat us last week, I believe. So they're playing really well. They're shooting on all cylinders. So I'm excited to watch them play, honestly.
I like that call, man. Equal Plays is on a heater by himself. He had like 18 kills last time. So, hey, congratulations, Articuno. Today is your day, man. Congrats for winning the group stages. I know you just wanted top 2, but you get first place. Nobody can catch you. And congrats on the win today. It looked inevitable, frankly. And go celebrate, and we'll see you, I'm sure, on Championship Sunday.
Thank you. It was good to see you guys, truly. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Yep. Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Shout out to the fam. Shout out to Johnner. Shout out to everybody, man. Articuno, world class and world class play here. I think a little lucky, like he said. He knows if that player didn't mantle there, he wasn't going to win it. But once he got it, he then iced up and wins the long engagement as well. So nice job from Articuno there, and a great interview, DK. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of very valuable insights being gained there from them. And I mean, who better to ask it from the team sitting at the top of this board and the big board as well. Insane play. 55 squad points. Unheard of, right? We've never seen this in the Rise series. So what a statement being made here by the Evil Geniuses. I mean, this is quite literally a big brain play.
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest map we've seen, or match rather, that we've seen in the entire Delta Force Rise series. Like you said, it's worth repeating because it's so important. You're doing that at the last match of the Delta Force Rise series. Of course, I have to laugh because Loco is on every graphic. Articuno was hyping him up for good reason. He said he's a hellhound of his, and, well, I don't know what else you're going to call him. He just kills everybody. 15 total kills on the day, over 3,000 damage, nearly 18 million in assets, and a couple of assists. Loco, top fragger today and top fragger overall, now by a lot, as he was already at the top of those leaderboards before today, and then tops today by a mile as well. So folks, DK, we've got one more match, and that is tomorrow. A versus D. You heard it from the horse's mouth. Articuno says it's going to be nightmare, going 3 in a row to grab second place. That's all tomorrow, but walk me through our top individual slayers and beyond.
I mean, as we can see, the top 5 consists of EG and 2 guests, right? We got the WKF Crab in here alongside Socio. to take up 2 of the slots in the top 5. The rest is just evil geniuses all day. But Nightmare equal right there, hot on their heels, and so we could see a few potential plays being made in tomorrow's match. So a lot to look forward to that, but the damage going above and beyond.
Wow.
I mean, Loco was leading. He was on 13,000. Now he's up to 16 and almost a half, right? Insane positioning to be in. But of course, hopefully we'll see a little bit of the change up coming through tomorrow. It is going to be Loco now taking pole position on the asset gainers as well. Just creeping 4.5 mil ahead of SSG Killzol on the board here. And again, also just barely ahead of his own teammate Articuno coming in through. But you can see, right, there's a reason why the evil geniuses are where they are with regards to the rankings. They are just on top of the board almost on every single page. So there's a lot of avenues where they've just been beaming it. And I mean, kills 149, one short of landing 150. Just kills alone, they have more points than the total amount of squad points for the team in second place.
Yes, second place, third place, all the places. More kill points than everybody else, total squad points. Some of these teams matched in matches. Teams like Spacestation Gaming still have a match to go. Teams like Nightmare still have a match to go. But this is that math we're talking about. There's 2 main places you need to look right now. At the top, Evil Geniuses, like we said, they can't be catched. SSG can only score 10 if they're able to win with both bricks tomorrow. That's how you get second place. But Nightmare still in a position to take it away from Spacestation Gaming. Everybody else maybe a bit too far away. Team Liquid technically could pick up 10 points there and jump to 35. It would require Spacestation Gaming, though, to get one of the bottom 2 slots. But look at the bottom of the leaderboard. This is where the rubber meets the road. Teams like Team Nadeshot, FX, they're safe, they're fine, even though they're in 9th and 8th. 10th is the only worry. MW got last today and therefore earned 0 points. Guess what? That means Liquids and BTH, who are both playing tomorrow, if they score a middling amount of points, they could pass either of them, or both, could pass MW and push them into relegation. If you're in the bottom 2 slots down there, you will not play next weekend. No survivor stage for you. You are out of the Delta Force Rise series, unfortunately.
Yep. And it just shows you the amount of stakes at play, and there's a lot of pressure on these 3 teams, as you've mentioned, right? So it's going to be an interesting one. Indeed, a lot of sweatiness, a lot of nerves. I'm going to be bringing my popcorn in because I'm pretty sure we're going to need it. It is going to be absolutely crazy. But yeah, a lot of changes can still happen across the board. I mean, Leviathan also just coming so close with the overall points here, right? All the way up onto 32. It just shows you that there's quite a bit of pressure all across the board. It is not secured for anybody at any point, right? But fortunately tomorrow, Nightmare, Articuno said, might be the team to contest Space Station Gaming, and there's going to be only one way to find out whether or not that prediction was on point or slightly off.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout. That's tomorrow, folks. You all know the schedule. It's every Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the last 4 weeks, and we're down to not Championship Sunday, but the last Sunday of the group stages. And then next week, Survivor Match 1, Survivor Match 2, and then the finals. Speaking of the finals and those Survivor stages, one thing that we haven't mentioned very often is that those bottom 2 places that still make it to next week actually matter. If you get 9th or 10th, Team Nadeshot, a big onus of responsibility on them to put up some points. If you get 9th or 10th, you actually do not play Survivor Stage 1. You will not have 2 chances to make it to the grand finals on Sunday. So a lot of eyes on a team like Team Nadeshot to hopefully move forward. Folks, that's the end of our show today. Somehow, some way, we got here with Evil Geniuses picking up the craziest match of the day, but still more on the line. Quick follow everything Delta Force. You've got all the major socials. We're live all over the place, and of course those esports accounts. But DK, any final thoughts for the broadcast?
If you're not tuning in tomorrow, I don't know what to say to you. I hope you do, because you're going to miss out on a lot. It's going to be sweaty. But yeah, I think overall, just, you know, big congratulations going out to the side of the Evil Geniuses. They've really earned that position. I want to see the rest of the teams do exactly the same version of that for themselves tomorrow, right? It's going to be a big day. It's going to be the last day. So yeah, you better be here.
Pretty much every team needs the points, whether you're Team Nadeshot trying to get up into the bracket where you're able to play for the top side, Survivor stage day 1 and day 2, or if you're the teams at the bottom desperately trying to stay alive and actually play in the final week, or the teams at the top, you're still trying to play for second, and you can go straight to the championship on Sunday next week. A lot going on tomorrow. You're not going to miss it. Same time, same place. You all know how to get here, and of course, EMEA doing a lot of the same tomorrow as well, a bit earlier. You're not going to want to miss the last day of the group stages here with the Delta Force Rise series. The final reminder for you is that you couldn't do it. We couldn't do it without you, the viewers. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and NT getting a little... So hang on a second, NL! Look at that! It's an absolute sweat! And LG's got him, though. They're here. Lines them up, even through the shotgun.